What's good, everybody? Blankenship is here. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the very first Saturday Night Live. Now, I decided to do something a little different with my nights when I go live, and that is to do a little bit of a roundtable. We have a lot of new people in the hobby, whether they're just collecting or they're wanting to breed. Some people are having their first clutches right now, and I've been getting a lot of questions about this time of the year. I always do, and I know Andrew does as well. We kind of communicate all the time. Sometimes I have a question for him. Sometimes I have a question for me. Whenever we run into any situations or kind of bounce off, hey, listen, my boy Andrew will be able to handle this. So we felt that it would be our time best spent helping really you reach the goals that you guys are going after. Now, between me and Andrew, I think we got over 50 years of experience. I've been doing this since 1996 or so, a little before that, but my actually first clutch was in 96. And Andrew's been doing this over 30 something years because he's 109 years old. but and Andrew's had has dealt with a lot of different reptile species over the years, as well as fish and other animals as well. So a lot of help can be found on this channel on Saturday nights. Now down the road, we hope to actually split off. I'm hoping that Andrew will be able to have enough time. He does another show. Could you talk about that show a little bit, Andrew? Because I think it'll be
helpful. It's fauna radio. It's reptile related and everything like that. We used to do a podcast it was like, I guess like a podcast type of thing where it was basically where you just listen to it. But we decided to move over to YouTube so people could see everything because we like to show our animals and stuff like that. We just started a little bit ago, but the main guy, Gary Warner, who's a gecko breeder, of course, but he's doing a pretty good size, a huge giveaway. So it might be something to think about if you guys could just go over there and give it a follow. I'll put a link in the description if that's okay.
Yeah, please do. And we'll make sure that we'll put the link up throughout. And you don't have to put it right this second, but we'll also put it out before you go. If somebody's going to jump out of here and didn't get the link, you can always ask for it. I don't know Gary as well as I know Andrew. I actually know Andrew pretty well. We've known each other for a long time. He usually wins whenever I do a trivia question about me. He usually wins it because we've just talked about everything.
Well, I know you
argued about most of that stuff too before. So that's why I thought Andrew would probably be the best person to do these things with, to start with anyway, because me and this guy can argue about almost anything all the time. It always ends with love you, brother, have a good night, respectfully always. And this has been going on for years. This isn't just like yesterday.
That's the way everybody should be with the herp community, because you know what? That's how they tear us down, is by tearing us apart. Yeah. So you have an argument, you get an argument, not talk, or even if you have a problem with somebody, instead of talking it out and seeing what the problem is, they right away start bashing them, and next thing you know, bam.
Yeah, and it does end up as just more weight for the people that are hating on the reptiles to use against us down the road. Now, listen, there's a lot of things that happen out there that I don't like seeing, but am I helping that person by going to their channel, leaving some shit comment, or am I better off maybe messaging that person on the side and saying, hey, listen, maybe this is why you don't want to do this or that, and then if they tell you to kick rocks or whatever, then it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But at least you know who you are and where you're at. And the whole idea of it is working with each other on stuff. So
yes.
I say this because sometimes we might not say something that you like. You might not like what you're hearing from us. It might contradict what you think is this or that. And that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't all have to agree all the time. So, no.
So understand that if I tell you to do something a certain way, it's coming from many years of experience, and if I don't know, I promise you all that I will not tell you something to pacify it. If I don't know, we will find the answer. Chances are I probably know or have heard a story or three on the subject, and I know Andrew has a million times as well. So I hope you all are interested in that. I do have some more announcements throughout the live as well.
Yeah.
More donations to the Pedals and Scales raffle. Also kind of how we're going to set that up. I think everybody's just going to pay a buy-in, and everybody that buys in, you can buy in multiple times if you want for whatever standard price. Your name's going to go on the wheel, and it stays on the wheel, and we'll go through all the prizes, and I think that's the fairest way to do it.
And how much is it to buy in, if you don't mind?
I'm not really sure yet. I'm not really sure. I want to kind of wait until I get all the information and all the stuff that's coming in, so that I can kind of pick a price where people are not paying a ton of money out of their pocket. Times are tough for everybody right now, but at the same time, everybody can at least get a chance to get in there. And we're not trying to buy these people a new house. I want everybody to be clear. We're not trying to buy them ARS rack systems or anything like that. We're trying to help them get a peace of mind. And like I told them, if all we get out of this is a smile, we're good. Okay. So if what's best needed for them is to use this money to have a dinner for themselves because they haven't been able to do that, we're all okay with it. And I want you all to be okay with it. But I do know that they're more big. Their worry is that these snakes are sitting at somebody else's house that's not a reptile person, and they're not in a built rack system, a home built rack system. Having foster children, having any children in general is a pretty time and expensive endeavor in general. So any little help we can do is awesome. And they are super cool people, and they are very grateful and thankful to all of you. So I want to say hey to Esther and Nikki and Doug and all Python Love and Joel and
Chris.
Chris, okay, we got this Iron Dogs up in there. Celtic Balls, how you doing, man? How you doing? I got a new name in here. Claire's Aquatics and Reptiles. Welcome to the channel. I see you again. I'll make you blue for sure. That is a promise to y'all. Okay, I'm cool with bringing on. Awesome. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions there. And if I missed you in the line up there, I'm really sorry. But again, I know a lot of you all are really having your first clutches right now, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I have to say that over all the years, I kind of tend to stick to people that are a little bit newer in the game. For one, I'm trying to siphon your excitement. I love that. You know what I mean? I love that first time you're going to have a clutch. I love that you're checking your stuff every 5 minutes because you got it sitting there. I love it.
It drives you crazy. You're always like, let me look. Let me see. Has anything changed?
Desert Wolf, what up, my friend?
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, especially, the most exciting times are when you get your first clutches. Even after many years, your first one of the season is always a little more exciting because then it's starting,
I got a question for you, Andrew. And kind of kicking off, again, in the future, we're going to try and focus this channel on and having enough questions asked throughout the week to be able to kind of compound here in future lives. So this week's going to go a little bit slow, and we're just going to talk about a few things recently we've had. Recently, I was reached out by somebody talking about, and we get this a lot. Andrew, I don't know how many times a year you have to deal with this, but I get it a lot too. Egg-bound females. A lot of have females right now that are going to be laying eggs, or they are laying eggs, or maybe they've laid eggs, and maybe you feel like there's still maybe one in there. From experience, firsthand experience, we gave a suggestion to somebody on what to do. And it truly is the best way to go, and it really helped them out. But here's the thing. You can tell somebody something, but that's not going to take away the stress and the worries, So I want you to understand that if we ever laugh about a thing like, oh, don't worry about it, we're not laughing at you. We're like, I remember feeling that way. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid that this is your first time having eggs, or don't be afraid that, because it's your first time having eggs and maybe you don't even know what you're doing. It's okay. You know what I mean? You're surrounded by a bunch of awesome people. There's a bunch of awesome people in the chat. Look at Gotta Love Carpet Pythons jumping in there.
Gays in the house, yes.
She's my girl from Down Under. That don't sound very good. That sounds very good.
Yeah. I can tell you, though, just talking about the egg-bound situation, one thing people tend to do, and I don't know how many people in here do it, but I've seen a lot of people do this. When their female's getting ready to lay eggs, they remove the water dish out of the enclosure. Now, at this point in time, the one thing the female needs to be is hydrated. I never remove the water bowl because they need to be drinking at all times. And if they get a little dried out or a little dehydrated, they're going to have trouble.
And getting them back on food at that point will be a nightmare. A nightmare. But if some of you out there, you're having your first clutches, if you happen to have a snake that becomes egg bound, first, don't panic.
That's rule number one.
The second thing is try and treat her the same as you would treat her as if she laid a perfectly set a clutch of eggs, and your objective is to get her back on food.
Food. Mm-hmm.
Your first meal, no matter what the situation, egg bound or not, should always be a smaller size
Mm-hmm.
food item than you normally would feed her, because again, she just went through a ton of work to lay those eggs. She's going to be exhausted. So for that reason, you're not going to want to try and feed her the very night that you pull those eggs. You want to wait 24, 48 hours is usually best. And you will know your females after a while how they react and how they do. After 48 hours, you're probably going to have a hard time getting them back on food. So you really want to try and hit that window. You do that by cleaning out the tub, the substrate, the water bowl, the lid, the top, the bottom, the sides, 3 over to the right, 5 over to the left. You want to make sure that you're getting that egg smell out of there. Now, you're treating your egg-bound female the same way. You want to get her back on food. You just want her to be, have plenty of water. You can do a warm bath after 24, 48 hours. You can set her in for a warm bath. I don't normally suggest, and Andrew, tell me what you think. I don't normally suggest the warm bath within the first 24, 48 hours, only because I don't want to, it tends to add a little bit more stress and a little bit, they get in that water and they're flexing in it and they freak a little bit, you know? So I always think it's great.
Here's what I do. Now, I don't know how many people do this. When I pull my eggs,
and I'm not talking about that. I'm sorry. I give a bath right after I pull the eggs, of course, but I'm talking about your egg-bound female. After about 48 hours, you're going to want to give her another warm bath. I guess I should have said that right. Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, welcome.
I have a tendency to, after I pull my eggs, I keep her in the enclosure closed for a few hours before I even mess with her again. Let her get relaxed a little bit, because you just disturbed her. You took her eggs. It's kind of a stressful moment. Then I'll go in and take her out, wash her off, wash the tubs, clean the tubs, do all that. Then I put her back in there, and then I wait, like you said, 24 to 48 hours, and try to get her eating a small meal again. And then after she eats her first meal, I wait a day, and then I kind of give her light soak sometimes. It depends on, like you said, you got to know your females.
Yeah. Some act different. But if what you want to do when they are egg bound, the whole idea is just play it normal.
Leave them be. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and feed the following week at the same time as you normally would. This can take months. How long did it take your female to pass her?
6 months.
Right. And she took her meal?
Yep. After she laid the clutch of 7 eggs, it took 6 months for the other 2 eggs to come out. And what I did, you don't try to massage them out.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Yep. And then
what's up, Rob?
Even one was at the very end. It was very obviously looking there, but she wasn't stretching to push it out. And what I've noticed is one day she went to the bathroom and there were the 2 eggs sitting there in the thing too. So that's just what you do. You can take her out and hold her and let her run through your hands and stuff like that, just like you normally would, to look at her and check her over. But don't try forcing them out, because they're stuck there for a reason. And if it's your first time having eggs or first time dealing with this stuff, you're going to be stressing. You're going to be worrying. I can't tell you how many times still today I worry about my females who haven't laid their eggs yet. Sometimes they say it's going to be this many days, 29 days, whatever. Sometimes it goes 45, 50 days. It can happen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And you're going to worry, but promise you, let her relax. She's going to take care of it best. And you won't. That I can promise you. Don't watch Brian Barczyk probe a snake and pull an egg out of a colubrid and think that you're going to do the same thing to your python. It's not
Mr. J, how you doing? I just wanted to say hi to Justin. I just noticed him in here.
Well, your female's not going to drop. I mean, it can happen, but for the most part, your female's not going to lay her eggs in her water dish.
No. So colubrids will do it sometimes.
Well, because they're looking for, that's what they're looking for too. They're looking for the wettest spot to go do that. And if your water dish is it, I guess that's where it goes. Okay. Don't they usually have humidity boxes in there with them?
Yeah, I do. When I do colubrids, lay boxes, yeah. But and
I never remove the water. You're going to find that your females are going to get very active right before they lay. You're going to see that your female's been coiled up forever. You're like, oh, every time you open it, she's right there in the hot spot. She hasn't moved. She doesn't look like she's done anything. And then a day or two before she lays those eggs, she's going to be out drinking water, trying to get those things set in a line so that they can come out nice. And she will be drinking a lot of water. It's really best to keep the water in there. Now,
a reason people take it out though is because they're worried about her spilling it right before she lays eggs, and then her laying eggs in the tub and there being water in the bottom of the tub.
And that can be a concern.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a concern. Now, luckily for me, I got the built-in cup holders, and it's unlikely that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I've never had that happen. I've only had those racks for a year, 2 years or whatever, and I've had home-built racks forever. So, and I've never had that happen myself. Maybe put a smaller water dish in there further away in the substrate. Yeah. The substrate will soak it up. But they do need that water. It really helps them out a lot.
Yeah.
And dehydration can be a big cause of a snake being bound. So
a lot of first time, not a lot of times, but sometimes they just get so exhausted pushing all the eggs out, they just get tired and can't push them last few out. So if you let it relax, rebound, they'll come out eventually. If you call a vet, the first thing a vet's going to say, bring the snake in, and then they're going to want to do surgery right away. And that's not always the appropriate answer for everything.
Now, if you have a snake is egg bound and you're getting discharge out of the cloaca area, if you're getting discharge, means an egg may have possibly broke in there.
That's a different story.
That's a different thing. That's an issue that you're going to want to take care of right away, because there will be infection, bad infection. You will lose your snake. So, that is something that you're going to have to watch for. So while you're doing those baths every other day or so, as she's, still trying to pass those a couple of times a week, as she's still trying to pass them, take a look and see if there's any kind of discharge or anything. Also, always keep my females that lay, I always keep them on paper towels until they get until they're heavy back on food, until I can see that they're doing well and I know they passed all their eggs. They stay on paper towels, because that's going to tell you a lot of stuff. That paper towel, that dirty paper towel, will tell you a lot of things. So I usually keep my females after they lay on paper towel for quite a few weeks afterwards.
And I learned this from a herpetologist who has an actual doctorate degree in herpetology. And the reason they convinced me that this is the way to go is because he's like, in the wild, do you know how many snakes roll around to get egg bound in the wild? And then they just, eventually it'll pass. And I mean, you can go watch Brian Barczyk's videos, and he'll every once in a while open up a tub and there'll be a rotten egg in there. Even with the new clutch, there'll be an egg off to the side that's really, really old. You can see it's old, and he knows it. And then another one, like when his beau was giving birth, I don't know if anybody's seen that video. He pulled that dead baby out that was mummified in there right before she laid. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it happens. So don't panic.
Yeah. Another thing I've seen recently, and Hardwick could be in here every time you say his name, it's like he's Beetlejuice. He appears instead of disappears. But he just did a video recently. I'm sure a lot of you seen it. And I can't tell you guys, this is just enough either. And I hate it when, this is the one problem I have with
Derek,
guys' channels who, his channel, Skyrocky's doing really well. I have no hate on his game at all about that. But this is what I don't like about people that don't have a ton of experience. They haven't candled their eggs 15, 20, 30 times as they're going up, and then realize, wow, man, why am all my snakes coming out twisted up in their umbilical cords or kinked up or what's going on here? They can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. You want to candle your eggs once and once only. If you have to candle again, I suggest you don't, but if you have to, try and make it within the first week or two of those eggs being in there, because after that snake is going to react to sound, to movement, to light, to all these different things, and you really want to avoid that stuff. That's why I always say,
don't want to move it in the egg.
Yep, leave the eggs alone. Once they're in there, make sure they're not mildew and molding. Leave them alone.
And if you got them in your own thing and they're not in a clump and they're separated, in their in the incubation box, and you notice one's molding, and you have to candle it real quick just to see if there's still veins in it. Different story. Real quick, boom, done.
Quick. But you don't want to. And I know. I appreciate what Hardwick was doing. He was trying to show you the growth over time and stuff like that. But it's not a good idea. Matter of fact, what was it? What's that one guy's name? Oh my God, I can't think of him. It'll come to me later. But he did a big video about how he was candling the crap out of his eggs because he was so excited. He's like, "Oh, are they almost ready? I want to look at them. I want to look at them." And ended up with the whole clutch just all twisted up in their umbilical cords. God, what is his name? We all know him.
Isn't it Anthony from?
Yes. Still can't think of the channel name.
Granddaddy Herps.
Yeah, Granddaddy Herbs. A guy who's been doing this stuff for a long time. A guy that you can, if he's saying something, you can listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. But yeah, man, these things do happen. So if you're out there and you're thinking about breeding, listen to some of these little things. Learn by other people's mistakes are the best way to learn by mistakes, is by other people's mistakes. Sometimes that's hard to do because, I think ego gets in the way sometimes. You think, well, I'll do better than he did. You know what I mean?
Another thing I see people do, they'll get an egg that starts molding, and then you go buy the antifungal powder, and they'll sprinkle it on there. Instead of sprinkling it on there, put it in a little cup and take a paintbrush, like a little paintbrush, and just brush it on the egg. Yes, like a makeup brush, right on the egg. Instead of dumping it, you dump it on the egg. That's not going to be good. Just use a little makeup brush to put it on. I didn't know you had one there.
I have a bunch of eggs in the incubator, and I just checked them. I would just check them all today, so I just have it handy just in case. I don't have any mold. I never normally do, but sometimes you get a little bit of substrate stuck on an egg, and it's got a little bit of bacteria on it, and it will kind of go from there. So, but yeah. Plus, I do a little makeup before the show. Retained old eggs are stillborn. It sounds like, yeah. They are.
Yeah, they're just. You can if the egg doesn't come out during when she's laying the eggs, even 2 days later, and they come out, they're no good. They will not survive.
What's going on, J Dog?
But I'll tell you what I did do. I did dissect the eggs that came out. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. They're pretty. It's like a hard-boiled egg when it comes out. It's pretty neat. It's all it's white. And it's you can see the veins in there, of course, but it's just like a hard-boiled egg.
No, dang, that's gross. You're welcome.
I'm just curious when stuff like that happens, so I like this.
Hey, Matt, what's up? But again, I have a bunch of different people that we do plan on bringing on for different topics. And again, this is going to have heavy time of the year that we get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions, and unfortunately, I miss a lot of them. That one thing. I went viral. That picture went viral with Miguel. Said, "Hey, can I share your picture of that snake you hatched out with some people?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I wake up with 1 million subscribers on our friends list and shit on my Facebook. And I get so many questions out of there, I can't even think about trying to answer them at all. But I figured this would be a good way for us to be able to do that. So I do have other people that have other specialties and different things that come on and definitely ask questions. If you don't feel comfortable asking questions in chat. I know a lot of people watch these videos that are new to this, or they have questions and stuff, but they don't really like talking in chat. I've actually been told that recently, that a lot of people don't, and it must be true because you get a lot of views, you don't get as many chats, or comments. So for that reason, you can reach out to myself or Andrew on any one of our social media. The Exotics everywhere, Fitzgerald Constructors everywhere. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question, again, there's no stupid questions. If I see somebody in here clown you because you asked a question in chat, they're going to be gone, and then I'll spend the rest of the show clowning them. And since I probably know pretty well, I probably have a lot of ammo, so nobody in here will do it.
One thing you got to understand is there's no stupid questions done. You just don't be embarrassed to ask a question either, because a good person would answer the question, even if it's something simple. It's not. There's no stupid end.
You get asked the same questions all the time that that you feel like they are silly or whatnot, but they're really not for the person that's trying to do this, and even more so selfishly for us. I mean, if Nikki is breeding snakes, and it's in my best interest to help her as much as possible, I might get one of her snakes, maybe not even directly from her, but that lineage of her stuff I might get from somebody else down the road. It's all important. You know what I mean? Genetics, all that stuff, how you care for your animals. So that's why we want to do this. It's important for all of us. It's not a microphone. It's important for all of us to be able to work with each other and also have that knowledge. There was none when I was coming up in this at all.
No, me either. No, not. Luckily, I had a
Benjamin.
I had a guy that I mentored a little bit, and he He knew everything. And that's when I say everything, I mean, he's passed now, but he knew everything. He was in it for many years before I got into it. And one other thing,
I got your question, Ben. We're good with it.
If you ask me a question, I answer your question, and you're unsure, check with other people. It's always good. Don't take my word as gospel.
Same here.
It's just what works for me. But if you don't do what I say and you do something else that somebody else says, and it doesn't turn out real well for you because you listen to somebody who's only been in the hobby 6 months,
right. Be honest with yourself and put the blame where it's at, and that's really at yourself. Okay?
Yes.
At the end of the day, if something kind of goes wrong, it's because you didn't do the due diligence. Now, we're here to help, and we're definitely so many people, and I'm not talking, a lot of you out there like, look, you don't need your help, Fitz. I don't need your help, BA. And I understand that, but somebody might watch this video afterwards that has questions. They're like, look, I've been trying to find a video on how this or what that is. I spent a lot of time early on in this game before there was YouTube and all that stuff with the reptile stuff, answering questions with forums and a lot of burned bellies from heat rocks.
Heat rocks were the thing back in the day.
Yeah, that was the biggest issue or things that I had to deal with people was those heat rocks back in the day. I'm so glad they're not even around. I actually have one. I have never used it. It came with a snake that I took in, and I was like,
kind of strange. Heat rocks were a big thing back in the day. Yeah.
Okay. Now we do have a question. Realistically, how important is having a fail-safe in your incubators? So, like, for instance, have I ever had to have a second thermostat set up? Listen, you have to sleep at night. So if you feel better having a second thermostat in case, there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's going to clown you for it. Myself,
nope.
I honestly have never done it. That said, I've most of the time always been conscious of what my room temperature is and what my incubator temperature is. Now, it's not as easy being not at home anymore and I'm here at the shop, but I do have sensors and I do have different ways. I can have my son come right over here and check on things if needed. But I'm willing to take that chance because I know my incubator's trusted and working. That said, I also maintain this is why my stuff might differ from yours. You're at home, you're not going to maintain 82 degrees in your room. It might be in your house, might be in your side spare room, might be in your bedroom that you have your snakes. You're not going to sleep comfortably at 82 degrees. I can promise you that. So if my incubator goes out, I know that my temperature will never drop below 86 degrees within a 4-hour time. And I know that because I tested all that stuff. Big time. Test your equipment. Test. Set it up weeks before you got clutches. My incubator stays on year round, and I don't get clutches year round. It stays on year round. I always check it. I always know. I don't ever have to worry about turning my crap on. It costs me a little bit more, but I don't have to worry about turning my stuff on and then watching it every single day for weeks on end, right up till eggs coming. Oh my God, they could come any day. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. That's never an issue in my place. So if you do this, turn yours on weeks before. Get it all dialed in, and you shouldn't have any problem. If it lasts 2-3 weeks or a month without any issues, you're probably going to be okay. That said, I have a backup incubator. I got a backup cooler incubator. Nothing wrong with backups.
And if you have bottles of water in there, they heat up, and your temperature's not going to drop real fast either.
Yeah, no. If you have if you got a good sealed up, and it doesn't have to be top of the line, nothing. It can be a cooler. If it's sealed up well, and you checked it, and get it all warmed up, get it working good, turn it off, see how long it maintains, see when it drops below the 86 degree mark. You know what I mean? And say, okay, this is where it's going to get too low for too long. And see how long that is, and that will give you enough time. So definitely, always good to keep an eye on that and have backups. And that means if you want to run a second thermostat, you can. I usually, when you have a fail like that, if I use fairly decent thermostats, usually when you have a fail like that, it's outlet related, building related, power outage related, things like that. So,
I agree with that. And if you're worried about a power outage, always have calcium chloride. Because that you put calcium, you fill a bottle of this, like this size bottle, 3/4 of the way with calcium chloride. You pour water in it, it gets up to 130 degrees. So,
Yep. It's a good safety measure. I mean, where we live, myself and DA Exotics, I mean, it isn't nothing to get minus 50 below in the wintertime for a
Oh,
week.
easy.
And that's without wind.
Yeah,
So,
easy.
you know, having these things in place for us is something that we've kind of always had to kind of do. I have had to do since I've been here for the last 7 years anyway.
Yep.
And Andrew's been a big help with that kind of stuff. Little does he probably even know, but, you know, breeding down in Florida, oh my God, man, I just had to open the window and let the nature do the rest. It was that easy. Breeding up here in this climate, not the same.
No,
you know?
It's different.
So having a lot of these safety measures are important. I seen a question from Mr. J. Justin, who I just love to death. No, she probably will not. She will not absorb an egg that she.
Once she gets to that point where she lays, right? Yeah, no.
Yeah. Sorry, my nephew's still sitting out there because my son Liam, who's probably working later than he's supposed to. Let me let my nephew in. Sorry how unprofessional this is.
Oh no, that's all right. No.
Again this weekend.
No, Justin, once she gets past a certain point, they will not reabsorb anymore. They are coming out. They have to come out at some point.
Yes. Your female's only going to absorb those follicles if she decides that there's not enough food, temperatures are not right, conditions aren't good. These are the reasons why she's going to, you know, absorb the follicles. Right.
Yeah, I get it. That also works, but I don't think, you know, I don't know if you can get calcium chloride over there in Australia because of how, you know, you don't get much snow over there. Calcium chloride is what we put on our melts ice, not salt, not the rock salt, but specifically calcium chloride. And the reason it works is because when it's a chemical and when it gets wet, it starts heating up.
Thank you so much, homesteading man. Homesteading Northern Michigan. Me and this guy kind of go back for a few years now. I need this guy's skills in building and stuff, man. I want to go visit him. Thank you so much for that super chat, my friend. I appreciate you a ton. This guy does a lot of homesteading stuff like that, but
yep,
he's slick at it. He's just cool, dude. Love it. I appreciate seeing you, man. I haven't seen you in a few weeks, and I haven't been able to check your channel either, so thank you. Also, I did see, the heat rocks are horrible. So, yes, they cut the cord. Yeah. Nikki, I think Nikki said, or was that? Somebody put that in there. Yes, cut the cord. Get rid of it. It's horrible. Blue, enough? This is so bad. My whole family knew that Saturday was going to be my thing, and that was going to be the whole deal. And we had set up for the dog. We had set up for the kids. Everybody had a plan. And then yesterday, my wife goes, yeah, I'm going to work at 7 tomorrow, and LJ's going to his friend's house, and I think he needs a ride home. But they're going fishing, so I don't know when they're going to be back. And, oh, by the way, Liam has to work, and he has to get at this time, so he's going to need a ride. I'm like, I'm not bringing anybody anywhere.
You know what he's saying? That's it. Say they better take their bicycles with them.
I know, man. I'm telling you, I love my family to death, but they don't look at me like I look at them. This is clear because I really take to heart. You know,
Todd and Venom up there. If I thought I could make it, I would do it.
Oh, I gotta see. I seen Todd, another guy that I haven't talked to you, Todd, but I do want to talk to you outside of stuff. So I'm gonna message you on one of the medias and try and give you my number because again, I'm trying to make this a reptile roundtable, and there's certain people that I'm really looking for experienced people. I don't want nobody getting their feelings hurt with anything because like you're not chosen to be on this roundtable. When it comes to snake care, stuff like that, there's a round table for this. There's also a round table for discussion, and that consists of a different group of people. And these are discussions like live feedings. You know what I mean? A lot of people ask me how come I don't butt heads with that, you know, because I'm in a position where I really can't do the live feedings, this and that, but I hang out with a lot of people that do. It's because you have the right to do what you want to do.
Yeah, if it's your channel, you do what you want.
I mean, I'm not getting in the way of your buck. You know, why would I do that?
Gay, I love minor birds.
Oh,
they're awesome. Minor birds are so smart, and we had one in the store that spoke like 3 different languages. They're crazy. I love them.
But I'd love to have you on, Todd, for your experience and what you actually do. Sorry, I don't mean
Todd,
but I do.
Nope.
But you know, I'm not a big Venom guy. I know a ton of Venom guys. I could go to a lot of different people for this. But I would really like to go to you, Todd. So if there's some one day out of the month maybe that you'd be able to join on discussions about stuff that you're passionate about would be very helpful.
I've been trying to get him on my channel, but our schedules have been clashing. We haven't been able to work it out yet because he's very good at field herping. He's got a lot of field herping experience.
Yeah, well, I like how he's a good spokesperson. You know,
Mhm.
he's got it here. You know, and you can think. You know, you can. It's so funny. Like I'm bad at this. Like I have this in my head perfectly, but when you come out with it, it doesn't come out the way it's in your head. Well, he does a pretty good job. I listened to him one night talk about some stuff, and it got pretty deep. And I was like, appreciate that. I did see
Benjamin has a good question there, and you can give your opinion, and I'll tell you what I think.
Okay, all right. Looking into the future, do you worry too many keepers are getting into breeding? Do you think we'll be oversupplied at the red? Not a chance. Not a chance. Let me tell you, you know, it's the market coming from the United States to other countries with ball pythons is huge, huge, huge.
I don't think it'll affect anything anyway, and I'll tell you why I don't think it'll affect anything. Is most of these people that are jumping in head first and getting a bunch of stuff and breeding it only last a couple of years, and then they're.
That's very true. We've seen a lot of people come and go. There's a lot of people that I thought that we'd be sharing the mic today with on this live right here that are just no longer here.
Yeah.
Logan and Dave from Intelligent Design Reptile.
They were flying along. I was impressed with how fast they grew and how fast they did things, and now you're gone.
No, there's so much pie for everybody. This is the truth. Let me tell you something. This is the truth. You know, I can put a snake on Morph Market and it's going to sell. Nobody knew who I was. I put it on Morph Market and it sells. I probably sold maybe 4 or 5 snakes to YouTube people, or somebody who knows me from some of the really amazing pictures that I was able to post to some of my stuff. Most people are seeing something they like and they are buying it. I don't know anybody that has a hard time selling their snakes unless they're not selling, unless they're trying to sell them out of their door. They're trying to, they put out 2 messages a week on Facebook. Hey, I got an animal, and they're like, how come my snake? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta put into it, you know, a little bit.
I could tell you that everybody I've talked to that puts up on Morph Market, they usually get a ton of inquiries, and it's only a matter of time before it goes. It goes pretty quick.
Yep. You're gonna get a lot of false buys, and you know you're gonna get, you know, I kill them with kindness every single time.
Yep.
Every single time.
That's all you can do.
Here's your quote. Oh, I'm sorry, I already got somebody got back to me. Oh, well, no problem at all. Thank you for your interest with FFC, and you know we're done. But that's something that we are going to do on this channel as well. We're going to have a whole Morph Market deal set up. I'm going to get my big screen over here. I'm just waiting for my wife to say I can take it out of the living room because nobody's used it in like 3 months. I haven't even seen that thing come on. Nobody's ever home. It's ridiculous. So I want to steal it and bring it up here. But when I do that, I'm going to show you all how the Morph Market works. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to tell you all why I believe it's the safest and then the best way to sell your reptiles. It's a small investment that is the best investment if you want to do this and make money on it. Mm-hmm. Now, and it's a great thing too, even if you're just our good buddy Justin, I seen him in here a little while ago from my animal house. He's not breeding these snakes so he can become some snake millionaire. You know, like he said it a million times. I see a kid that's showing passion for a reptile and he wants a snake. I'm going to give him a snake. You know what I mean? And because of that, he doesn't have the necessary need for Morph Market. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then that's no problem. But even if say he has a few other snakes and he's like, you know what, I have a couple snakes, you know, maybe I'll go ahead and sell these couple extra snakes. They haven't gone. No kids have come up saying I need a snake lately. Maybe I'll sell a few of them and make a couple bucks back, help feed the collection. You know what I mean? You can do that for free on Morph Market.
Most people who get into breeding, it's just basically to grow their collection and pay for their collection, to pay out and buy more stuff and to feed their collection. It's not mainly to make $1 million out of it. You know, I don't know very many that have ever made $1 million out of it. But
and whatever your reason for breeding and doing this stuff is yours and okay too. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't know, I feel like I'm bringing too many of these animals in, and you know, I guess that argument I think would work with some of the larger snakes. Some of the larger snakes that unfortunately, and again, this is opinion based, and if you disagree with me, I'll fight for your right to disagree with me, so it's no
Mhm.
problem. Some of these bigger snakes are hard to get homes for when they get to a certain size. And I think that we'll have a problem with some of our larger snakes before we have any problems with ball pythons because of that. Um, but with ball pythons, we're going to be able to do this forever. Like
Uh,
I know that we get scared once a month because this state or that state's going to do this or do that. But that's been going on every day for 50 years as well. So that U.S. ARC and the battles they're fighting, they didn't just start a couple months ago when they
mm-mm.
went to Florida. This has been going on forever, and it will. That's why they need our continued support.
And another thing with the breeding, take gecko breeders for instance. There's so many gecko breeders, and they still are moving them just like they when they first started. And there's
Great example because and Andrew, you know more about this than I do. I really know very little about this, but the gecko world actually came really close to burning itself right out due to poor breeding.
mm-hmm.
Now,
intermixing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Yes,
right, and that almost killed the hobby, but they're still selling and going like crazy. You know what I mean? We will do just fine. There's enough pie for everybody. I can promise you that. From the guy that's breeding 1 clutch every year to the guy that's breeding 1,000 clutch. I mean, Cabela's making millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. Now I know we're not Cabela's. I get that.
no,
But I don't have a problem selling anything.
mm-mm.
My stuff sells. I put it on there. It will sell. Some stuff takes a little bit longer. The funny thing is too. Don't think that you have a snake that's worth $150 one day, and then somebody makes a combo with something the next day, and now that snake's price just went up a bunch.
Look at the red stripe. You couldn't even touch them for a while after Cabela come out with it.
And people are giving them away like they were normals back in the day too. So it's funny how this stuff works. But you can sell.
Just for instance, you got
Anders, hello.
You got a Gourmet Rodent. Okay, they supply all your big pet chains. Okay, they will produce 100,000 geckos a year, and the geckos are still selling like crazy from the people that are breeding privately at home. And then now they're doing ball pythons, but it ain't affecting the ball pythons any. That's why you can go into sometimes a PetSmart and see a pied ball python in there or something. It's because of them guys, but it ain't affecting nobody. It ain't hurting nobody. It's not going to hurt at all.
Good night, Homestead, Northern Michigan, man. I really appreciate you stopping in. I'd love to hang out with you one day. We should do that. I don't know why we haven't already. Such a good dude. Not Lou Exotics, thank you so much for showing up, my friend. You're a cool dude too. Only a couple of years experience in reptiles, but one thing I can share with everyone is hit that like. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I truly do. Again,
Later, Homestead.
We're still going to do game shows on this channel. We're still going to do those things. Those things are still going to happen. But I really want to focus on getting the people in our immediate community comfortable with where they're at in their game. You know what I mean? Because like I said before, the more comfortable you are, the better you're doing. The better it is for me in the future. The better it is for other people in the future. I don't want no sickly snake. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'd rather see somebody get it taken care of right away.
Go ahead. Learn something here from anybody who jumps on the round table, and listen, you can learn stuff from somebody who just started doing this as well. So, so understand that if you have something to share, you want to share it, jump in. I'll throw a link down, share it.
I'll be honest with you. I've seen things from people that just started and be like, well, why the heck didn't I think of that? But I'll tell you, this show should be a safe zone to ask any questions and not be worried about it. Like you won't tolerate it. I know that for a fact.
And listen, I don't care. Listen, when it comes to the end of the day, it's about respecting each other. And especially, I know who you are. Your character shows if I see you in a conversation and you might disagree with somebody, but you're respecting their opinion on it, instead of calling them all the bullshit. I don't want that shit here, man. That's the plague that's going to bring us all down. Sanders,
That's the
thank you so
face.
much. I'm glad to see that the snake is eating. And yeah, I try to make my snakes as docile as possible. I mess with them all the time, dude. You guys don't probably believe this, but I'm telling you, there's usually always a snake around in my hands. I try to work with them a lot. I enjoy it.
I tend to save all the drama for Facebook where I don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the drama
But
is.
you're not helping anybody, putting anybody down, and you're not. And if you get in, and it's okay to get in disagreement, and it's also okay not to like somebody in the community. If somebody just rubs you the wrong way in the community, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to post it. You don't have to post it.
Or do a big video calling people out, calling them idiots.
Yep, you won't see that. That's not something you're going to see from my channel or D Exotics channel.
No.
You guys can, one of you in here could, Mr. J could be like, yo, you guys are a couple of turds, and I caught you guys behind Burger King jacking each other off. And he could make that video. You're not going to see a video back from myself or Andrew saying Justin sleeps with one-legged hookers in Mexico. You know what I mean? You're not going to see this. These things aren't happening. And that's something that I really want to push as well. If everybody can kind of handle these issues like this, it's going to be a better place. Now, I know shit, don't get me wrong. I know drama sells, and sometimes you can't avoid it. But hopefully when those things happen, we address it in a manner that you feel good about.
I know an individual who did a big drama thing, and it kind of killed their channel.
Yeah.
And I know you know who I'm talking about.
Well, you got to be careful. You know? Yeah. I forgot. I gotta go this way.
They didn't expect it to totally wipe them out, and it did. I'm not going to go into details because I don't need to.
But I also see some. I've talked to Andrew about this, and this is something I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about in this or not. But I think it's best said. I see a lot of people answer some stuff sometimes when it comes to caring for people's snakes, and some people within the community, outside the community, just in general. And I might do this as well someday. So, but sometimes I'll see maybe third or fourth hand kind of information. And it's kind of like if I tell you something, you tell somebody something, by the time it gets back, the story's totally different. And that happens a lot in these communities with each other and people. So if I say something to you, now you told so-and-so this story. I think he was talking about you, though. You know, these things snowball. You really want to try and stay away from that.
Or my sister's brother's mother's father's dad said.
Yeah, the object here is to Derek Reptiles. I actually want him to jump in here if he could. Jump in real quick, my friend, and because I do want to talk to you about what you're doing. I told you I wanted to do that. If you're free, jump in real quick. But Derek's Reptiles. This is a perfect example of this. A few months ago, he had no idea what the hell he was doing with the YouTube, with the snake, with the snakes or any of that kind of stuff. But he got hungry, and he's going after it. Now you're gonna make mistakes along the way. It's okay to make these mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
But Derek's killing it right now. I ain't seen no mistakes coming from him. He's doing good. He's doing good, and it's needed. I think it's really good when you got somebody that started from the ground floor in the community. And it's just going out there and saying, well, I know this guy's a big name and a big guy. I'm going to ask him. No worries, no shame. You just ask. That's the way to do it, man. But no, I have a lot of plans of bringing a lot of different people in actually on this roundtable. And there's going to be other roundtables as well that some of you may be asked to join. There's the hot topic with the feeding. Is it really a hot topic right now, or are we all making it a hot topic? Are we making these feeding videos a hotter topic than they really are?
Yeah, I think people do.
I think we might be. I think if we keep talking about it, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Derek.
I expect people doing what they want to do. Hey, man, thank you for joining us. I know you're at work, dude. I know you originally thought that I didn't like you. I think I was messing with you early on about your work. Not about you being a nurse or whatever, but you not working. I think I would say it's like, dude, you don't work. You're doing nothing. My wife does the same job. I know you all you're doing shit. and I think you took that funny, and it was funny because I felt it. I actually could tell about a week later. I was like, I say hi to this guy a lot, and I don't think he's feeling me. But dude, I've been a fan, man, and I just want to let you know that what you're doing is really good for the community by getting out there and talking to these people. You're actually bringing some of these people right here in cahoots with people that they would have never even been able to get close to, you know?
Yeah,
And that's been
I
happening a
appreciate
lot
that.
lately. And I think that's really awesome. I love that interview today, yesterday, sorry.
I
What was
appreciate
that?
that.
Last night? Yeah, DM Exotics.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to do, man. If I wasn't married, that's what I'd be doing with that guy. That was my dream deal. I want to go all these different
Yeah,
countries.
he's a great guy.
These things. He's cool, man.
move to
Good.
move to Thailand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm real picky about food. I might stop by Thailand.
your interview with Dave Palumbo was good. I like that one. You see, now Dave Palumbo, I don't know how many people he used to have a TV show way back in the '80s, and I used to watch him because he used to, a lot of bodybuilding stuff. So I don't know, how many people ever watched him back then, but yeah. That was before internet, so it was a Saturday morning TV show. But that was a good one. I like Dave Palumbo. He's got a lot of great information.
But if you all don't know, Derek from Derek's Reptiles here has just kind of really hit the scene recently. Pretty recent in comparison to some of us.
Yeah.
And I enjoy your hungriness, and I hope that people watching that want to do YouTube, that want to do this, that's that energy. That's that energy that you really got to have, and you got to try and maintain it. And know that you're not going to get every interview you want, but be consistent, be polite. My hat's off to you, man. Thank you for being part of the community.
I appreciate it.
I think that avenue hasn't been explored enough. I've done a lot of interviews over my days or back in the old timey stuff, but I didn't go at it like you are. I think you really got it right.
I appreciate that.
I'm still waiting for my fucking invite, but
man,
me too. So don't feel bad.
You don't even know I got a story, man.
I'm free all the time, man.
Whenever y'all free, man. When I'm at the house, whenever y'all free.
That's right. That's how you get them. You get them on your channel, and then you make them feel bad that you haven't been on their shit yet. And that's how you do it. That's how you do YouTube. You get people in a spot, and you put them in the corner, and then you capitalize on it.
Yeah, y'all. You're more than welcome to hang out.
Now, I got questions for you, real quick, Derek the Man. What was your first snake that you got again? The first snake that came across your house
was a corn snake.
Corn snake. Why? What happened? Somebody said get a corn snake. You seen a video?
So me and my fiance, we were living together, and I made like a man cave, spot where I could just chill when I get off of work, and and I kind of not be out of her hair a little bit. And I was like, honey, I want something for my man cave. I was like, I want to get either a tarantula or a snake. And she was like, nah. She was like, if you get a spider, I'm gonna kill it. I was like, well, damn.
I think I heard you tell that before. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, no spiders. She was like, you can get a snake. And at that time, I was new to the hobby. I didn't know nothing about Morph Market or breeders or anything like that. All I knew was PetSmart. So I went to PetSmart. They had ball pythons and corn snake, and I picked the corn snake.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what most people do when they first step in. That's how they get the bug to go get more.
I'm not a fan of the breeder that supplies these big pet chains. I'm not. Okay. But if it wasn't for these pet stores, a lot of you wouldn't have this passion. And I can't tell you how many times I went by a pet store as a kid just to look at the pets in the window. I was like, you go to the mall, the first place I was going as a kid was the pet store to look at these animals that, were just amazing. So, but I do appreciate you. I wanted you to come on, and I want people. I have a few extra people that don't normally spread out. Hopefully they will start spreading out to these other channels as well. But please go check out Derek. I think he's got something to offer us, and
I appreciate that.
He's bringing in some people that other people aren't bringing in, and that's really what it is. And I also appreciate you bringing in people that feel a little bit of controversy. I don't think that if I have somebody on my channel that has a little controversy to them, if somebody comes in and starts shitting on their Cheerios, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Respect it as a guest. You don't have to agree with them. You know what I mean? My platform isn't your platform to scrap it out. I mean, this is a message to people. I mean, it was pretty fucking clear. I'll just say it. I don't like that. Use your platform to do all the shit talk you like.
I have to agree with that. Yep.
And besides that, you don't like a person that somebody comes on a channel, you don't like them. Maybe you get to know them. Maybe you will like them. Maybe you can voice your opinion to them and change their mind on what upset you in the first place. Maybe you don't like the way this person's doing something, and you tell them that. Maybe it will change their mind. You know what I mean? You're not going to know if you just get on and shit talk. So I appreciate how you're doing that. You know what I mean? But I don't think you need to cover up anything. I don't think. I think if somebody wants to make themselves look like a dick, then that's just what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You held yourself very professionally. Appreciate that as well. So, all right, enough
that.
fluff in your ass, Derek. Save a life.
Peace. Thanks for having me on.
I want you on again. All right, sorry. I told him last week that I wanted to have him on, and I do appreciate him, and I get really excited with all of you all out here that are just starting out. I get excited watching when Justin got his first clutch. I was like, I just wish I was there. You know, I wanted to see Trish's face and his face. I wanted to see Trish's face and his face when they opened it up. I'm like, oh my God, there's eggs there. Like, God, I would have loved to have seen that. That's the best. And again, there's a lot of you out here. You've been doing this for a couple of years now. You got some stuff under your belt.
Yeah. Also,
forget where you're going.
If you don't ever plan to breed, I mean, you just keep them. There's tips we can help you with too. You know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because not everybody wants to breed their stuff. Most do, but there's a few that don't. You're like me. I don't know why either, but yeah.
The only thing I'm good at is breeding. I got the kids. That's it. That's all I know, man. Yeah, that's it. All right, what do I got? Share use. Oh, okay. Kayla's Aquatics. It's somebody new. I'm definitely gonna go check them out.
I've seen them on my channel.
Definitely Big Blue next time around. And I will be asking you to please put your link in the channel so people can go check you out. If people don't want to wait for a link and want to go check it out, you can just highlight the name and go search it up on the YouTube, and I'm sure it'll pop up. But definitely appreciate you coming in, for sure. And also, I don't necessarily have a time limit on these lives on Saturday nights. That's kind of why I was going live on Saturday nights. This show is kind of just an introduction of what my plans are in the future with this.
Yep.
Again, Andrew's been doing this for over 30 years. He's ran across scenarios. He's made mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes. Yep.
Learn from my mistakes and save yourself a lot of trouble. I hear a lot of sad stories on first clutches. Most of the time, when breeders have issues, it's on their first clutch. Matter of fact, probably 50% of the people in this room's first clutches weren't so good. And almost all of the big names that I know, first clutches were horrendously bad and things didn't work out. So you all have an opportunity here to have questions answered, not feeling crazy. Don't feel like, listen, I'm going to ask this guy a question and he's probably going to get irritated with it. That's not what you're getting here. I want you to ask because, again, we might end up with your shit one day. I want to be good.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. You never know.
Yeah, it's important, and I don't see enough of that. That's why I decided, maybe I got to come out here. I've spent the last couple of years avoiding telling anybody how to do anything with snakes. I'm sure everybody who's noticed, been following me for years, noticed that all of a sudden I stopped telling people how to do stuff with snakes, and I did that because I was scared, honestly.
Well, I know.
I was afraid to tell somebody something, and then they attempt to do what I told them to do, and things don't work out for them. And since I'm not there to say, oh, well, you kind of had this issue here or this, that, I was very afraid to give people information. But I think it's better if I do try to help with more along with that stuff at this point in time.
And don't and don't be scared to ask questions or even make a comment or even say something you think is right, and then even if it is not right, because we got to stop all the bashing and stuff like that. And I know you did a video once and said something and people took it the wrong way and took it all completely crazy on you, and it went the wrong direction fast, and it wasn't even what you were saying.
Yeah, but that comes down to, listen. I honestly know for a fact that I've done stuff in my past that if any one of you knew about it, you would think that I was the most worst person in the world. Oh. But if you took 3 seconds to think about what you did in your past, that if we knew about it, you'd feel the same way I do.
I'm sure.
So I am not going to ever judge any of you all on not knowing something or making mistakes. You know? But I do know a lot of y'all are first timers right now, or maybe you're our first time and you have a lot of questions. I'm getting a lot of questions every day, and I can't really keep up with them all. So I figure if we'll cover a lot of this stuff here as it goes through the breeding season. And I think I'll be titling these something a little different so that people that like, hey, I need to know about that right now. I know I use YouTube for everything, when I had a question, when I need to know something, and not necessarily about snake stuff, but like on the motorcycle side of things, or how to fix this, or how to do that, or how to fabricate this. I researching those things out.
And one other thing, if you're scared to ask the question, you can ask the question of me, from Jason or myself, and we can answer your question in one of these live streams without mentioning your name.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
If you ever have that's definitely, you can always email for topics or something you want to learn on. Email, message us during the day if you want to have a question. I can't promise you I'm going to be able to get back to every single comment. I know I can't. I get hundreds of them a day on the Facebook. I don't even use that shit. People still question all the time now. Where do we start? Reptiles on my channel. All right. Well, listen. That's actually a good topic. With people featuring their animals. I can't speak for everybody, but I know for myself when I first started showing my animals, I was so concerned about, I can't video my animals because there's some poop in there. You know what I mean? A little bit of poop in your stuff's all right. That don't mean you ain't taking care of your stuff.
No.
Okay. If you got dirty water bowls, I got a problem with it. And I say that somebody mentioned recently to me about, somebody gave me a bunch of crap because there's poop. Well, your snake's not going to keep the poop out of your bin itself. I mean,
see, Mason, that is the problem right there with Facebook and a lot of forums. They don't take the beginner's question seriously, and I think they call you all kinds of names, like call you stupid and all this for asking the questions. Well, how are you going to learn unless you ask the questions? So,
and now there's a stigma around it. So people are like, they know that people will bash them if they ask a question. Like,
not here.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, all those people bashing, they don't know shit. They don't know shit.
That's the thing.
That time they don't know shit.
That's why they're at bashing you, is because they're trying to make themselves look not.
I've seen, and I'm going to tell you, there's people who have been doing this longer than myself, but I've seen people that have been doing this a long time give some pretty bad advice as well.
Obviously, yes.
At the end of the day, like we said in the beginning of this, that it's in you. At the end of the day, it lays on your feet. So research, but we would definitely be here to help out. This is not a topic-based show tonight. We will have topic-based shows coming up that will cover a lot of in-depth stuff. Again, I'm trying to bring in some people that much better speakers than myself, on a lot of these subjects. But I really want to start something here as far as letting people know it's okay. If you're new and people are asking you questions and you don't have the answers, don't pretend like you know the answer to the person. You're going to see through that shit pretty quickly. But let them know you can find the answer. You know what I mean? You don't have to have all the answers, but if you don't, but then look for it. Don't leave them hanging. But
go ahead.
It's definitely in everybody's best interest here to stop all the shit. There's a lot of shit going on right now. I wasn't gonna bring this up. There's a lot of shit going on with the live feedings and not live feedings and all that crap. And if we really do need to stop making it a topic, you know what I mean? Because that's probably going to hurt us just as quickly as people that are feeding. Now, if you're feeding some corny shit to an animal that doesn't eat corny shit, that might be a problem. But other than that, don't hate on people for what they're doing. Let them do what they want to do. Show them respect.
I could tell you, Mason, one thing with Facebook, I know some top breeders that have made a comment on Facebook towards people, not towards them, but trying to help them out. And newbies, people who have 50 years of experience breeding animals, getting bashed from people who know nothing, getting torn up because they didn't say it the way that they thought it should be done. And these people are like, well, I'm done with Facebook, and these are big people. I mean, huge people that make millions of dollars breeding reptiles, get bashed on Facebook for something they said, and they're like, "What the heck's going on here? I know more than they, and they really do know more than a lot of people." So that's why I avoid Facebook, man.
Somebody was talking about, feeding live. That's a great question. I watched somebody doing a feeding live, and they're just tossing, rats in a bucket. It gives me a heart attack. Like, I just fed live today. I normally will feed like every fourth or fifth meal. I'll feed alive. And I fed today, and man, every single one of them was trying to kill my snake. Like, how y'all doing that shit? If you guys are feeding live, please just sit there. Just sit there, okay, with your tongues, just in case, because these things, man, will tear up a snake.
Oh, I've seen some horrifying things happen.
Community is key. It is, my friend Mason. You're dead right. Yeah. Asking, I've always said this. If you find a person that has all the answers, run away from that person. That's the person that's going to lead you down a path of shit. If there's somebody out there that knows the answer to every single thing and they're telling you when you're not asking, that's the person you want to avoid. That's the only advice I would give. So if somebody's trying to give you advice and they're the type of person that is giving it to you when you're not asking for it, run from that, from my experience. Yeah, always have your tongs ready. All right. I'm trying to
Yeah, of course your thumb is going to be all bruised because there's a lot of teeth involved in there. But you'll be fine. Just make sure you wash it out. You'll be fine. Now, if a big snake bites you, all you have to do is bend the tail back. You can even do it with your colubrids too. If you bend the tail back, they're going to let go. They don't like nothing messing with their tail. Ball python bites you and holds on, don't let go. Grab the tail, bend it back towards the back. Yeah, which is rare. You just bend the tail back towards the back of its body. Don't bend it till it breaks. Just bend it up and it'll let go right away.
Carefully.
Yeah, it'll let go.
A little bit of rubbing alcohol. Like if you got the bigger snakes, having a little bit of rubbing alcohol handy. I always have some anyway. You have some bigger snakes, have that handy if you're dealing with them. Word of that, we'll make them release for bigger snakes. You should definitely always have a little something. But with ball pythons, you really, that won't ever be an issue. You won't ever have to put any alcohol or anything.
No, but like even what's the name here Doug said mouthwash. Well, I prefer not to use mouthwash or rubbing alcohol because I know that if you grab the tail, and even if a big snake grabs you and somebody grabs the tail and bends the tail back, it will let go instantly.
Not as easy to do with big snakes, just so you know, they're strong.
But if you have somebody in the room with you, they can bend the tail back. It'll let go.
You should when you have the big snakes anyway.
And when I say let go instantly, I mean it will let go in like a split second. As soon as you bend that tail back, it lets go. Or you bite the tail, not hard.
Hopefully you remember that if you ever get bit by a big snake. Rob, yes, there's actually plenty of ball pythons that make lethal combinations. Spider to spider.
Oh yes, spider to spider, spider to
champagne and there's
champagnes. Yeah,
and we will have a whole video on that actually in the future too. That's a great question. We're going to go through some of that. And also, I want to, I do want to have some ethic talks on here about things, not necessarily about the feeding and others that people are thinking about right off the bat, but on what people think about different things. And again, these are discussions. These aren't, he's right, she's right, he's wrong, wrong. These are discussions.
I believe that there's probably a lethal combination in every type of reptile of some sort, like the lily white crested geckos. You breed two lily whites together and you get the same thing as you do with a spider. So
I only get tagged by hatchlings. I've never been tagged by any of my adult ball pythons.
I had this
close call girl,
giant Enchi girl, man, just vicious. No, I'm not gonna say vicious. It was her home, it was her tub, kind of defensive, I guess you could say. But no. I have a tendency in getting bit by everything, so
you get bit by a ball python, you're gonna wash it out, soap and water. Simple,
you'll be fine.
Simple treatment, be totally fine. You don't gotta go get no rabies shots or anything. You'll be good.
Yeah, you don't have to go to a hospital. I seen somebody. This is no joke. There was a guy who got bit by a snake, and he had to go to the hospital because he needed his stitches. Not a lot, just a couple stitches because he pulled the snake off, which is a big mistake. And when he got there, they wanted to give him rabies shots. And the guy was like, why? He's like, because your ball python ain't vaccinated for rabies. He's like, it's a reptile. Reptiles can't get rabies. So then he actually had somebody come in and argue the point, well, the rodents they eat could have rabies. He's like, I feed frozen thawed. What are you talking about? It just, doctors don't know everything. So
No. Oh, that's something I want to. That's a good topic too. I can tell you, our reptile vet here in my area has called me more than once with ball python questions. That's not all reptile vets. They're certified to work on reptiles. That doesn't mean they necessarily know reptiles themselves. So keep that in mind. My guy's pretty good, and they got really interested in it, and he's knows where he's at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But most reptile vets they know it in the book. A lot of them, they know what the book says.
Now,
they know the biology.
Is that all your vet handles is reptiles, or is it they handle everything and just do some reptiles?
On the rare occasion, right? Well, our Petco, a few years back, I found a snake in it that wasn't so hot, and I brought it to their attention. Not putting it on video and trying to get views because I'm smashing a place. I brought it to their attention. I was like, look, this is what's going on here. This is the situation, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, well, we're bringing it over to the vet, today. And I was like, yeah, sure you will. What vet you go to? And she told me. I go, oh, good. I know him, and I called over there, and they sure enough, they did. He said he actually has an account. They have an account there with him and everything. And I was pretty impressed with that because not all Petcos do. But that one,
that's actually good. Yeah, that's actually a good one.
I was pretty surprised. But he's had a few times where he's called the first time I had a snake that had had a piece of substrate caught in its mouth, and it got infected, and I brought it to my vet. They didn't want to give it an antibiotic shot. They were like, nah. So I actually had to do it the first time, but then after that, I had to come in the next day and give it another one because you have to do it 24 2 of them, and they're like, hey, let me do that. And so they did the second time. And then that's what this guy heard from my vet here. So he called me a few times with a few questions. And it's always the same thing. I got a lady, she said her ball python hasn't eaten in 2 months. And, it ate fine and now it's not eating, typical regular questions that you normally would get. Not bad questions, but typical.
Now, you were bit by a baboon tarantula.
That's my favorite.
Can you explain the reaction you had afterwards? Because I know there's different levels of. Because I keep tarantula. I have a lot of tarantulas, and I noticed that there's many different levels of how bad a bite could be.
No, your ball pythons would like to just be very much by themselves, and they will really just join out to find a mate once a year, and other than that, they would pretty much rather just sit in one spot and hope that a rodent comes along so they can get a meal, and that's really how they would prefer to stay. It's really not good to cohabitate your ball pythons because out of all the snakes out there, ball pythons are that nervous Nelly snake, and that's why they make such great pets. Mm-hmm. So it's really not good to cohabitate with them. They can go off food, off of a little bit of stress can make them go off food, cause a whole lot of problems down the road. I know people have kept them there before, but it's not good for them. You won't have great results. They won't. That said, you could have a couple that just seem to do fine. I mean, there's always going to be that glitch, you know what I mean? But on the norm, it's not good to cohabitate with him. And he's not lonely at all. He's not lonely. His comfort spot is a dark spot where he's not being messed with. He's not seeing crazy stuff flickering over here, over there. That's his happy place.
I have to agree. And that kind of goes with any snake, really. I mean, you get colubrids end up eating each other. So not all of them, but I'm just saying, like, most of your king snakes and stuff like that would, if they see a king snake going by and they're kind of hungry, they're like, hey, let me try this.
Oh, Patrick Reptiles got bit by one of his reptiles. He was in the hospital for 2 days. Yeah, and the infection, any animal bites you, you're going to want to clean it out right away.
Always a lot of bacteria going on in the mouth, especially reptiles, because it's stuff they eat.
Yep. Good old stank rat. Good old stank rat bite. Well, I do appreciate everybody in here. We're not jumping out of here just yet. Anytime anybody has to leave, that's fine. I do want to open it up. If anybody does want to join in here, that's kind of just posting it out there. You don't have to join. But if anybody has any questions or anything they want to add, I would definitely like to hear any stories. If some of you out there have had clutches before, maybe bad experiences on your first time breeding, those things are always helpful. Now, I got really lucky in my first clutch of eggs. The guy I got them from gave me a really good list of how to do and what to do. And I had a normal female and I had an albino male. And this is when albino ball pythons first came around. He was a colubrid guy. He was a big alligator guy. He was not a ball python guy. Matter of fact, he was on the fence of ball pythons weren't going to be around very long, because colubrids was all there really was worth it when it came to color. There's only colubrids is where it was at, and they're never going to have that. So that's kind of the way he was originally under it. So when I first got these snakes and I put them together, my first clutch, I had a bunch of normals that were actually 100% het for albino. So my big mess up, my first clutch, wasn't that they didn't hatch. I had all perfect good eggs. They all hatched out, no problems. My big mess up is that I was like, oh, well, I thought I was going to get yellow snakes. This was a dud clutch. So my second season, I bred them again, and I got all normals again, and I gave them all away, and I was like, this sucks. And then I learned about recessive, along with a whole lot of other people. I wasn't the only one out there that didn't realize that at the time that albino was recessive. This is many years ago, 96, 7, something like that. And gave all those ones away. And then I learned about it. I said, hey, buddy, you still got that female that I gave you a few years ago? And he's like, yeah. Can I borrow her? I gotta do something. And that's how I finally was able to figure it out and hatch me some albinos. So my big mess up wasn't nothing horribly scary. So I don't have a great story for people, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Giving away a bunch of good stuff that I could have been like that next season. I could have done something. I don't know. Yeah, but now, is that the orange tree? Is that the orange tree, the baboon?
No, there's a bunch of baboons. There's like the great horn baboon. There's the rear horn baboons. There's the orange baboon. There's a bunch of them. So,
well, I know that the baboon in general is they're kind of the attitudey ones.
They're all old world, and old world are always a little. They're more potent because the new world stuff flicks hairs. The old world stuff uses their venom, except for there are some new world stuff that's got a potent venom, like the Arminius, the Salmoposa Arminius, which I just got one the other day. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, the wife came home with it.
Spiders. If I get an orange tree, I'll get one. And I come across one or something like that, I'll get one for the desk. But nah. I don't want to feed those little ones. I don't know why you do that. You guys feed them little flies and crap. Like
no. When they're little, they scavenge. So what you do is you take a mealworm and you cut it up and you drop the pieces in, really? And they come and kick. Oh yeah, that's what I do until they get bigger.
I did not know that. Like I said, now we're talking about spiders here on that's when we can stick this channel on the round table. There's nothing off bounds. But I want to try and create a little bit safe place. People know me here. I've been doing this for a while. I've always been I try to always be a really honest person, and I think people know that. So I felt, coming from myself and Andrew as well, has always been a good, honest person. Never trying to capitalize on somebody else's crap. I just felt like it would be a good idea to start one of these types of channels where people can come in and actually ask this. People are coming through problems right now. Like, you got eggs in there. Justin's been checking his eggs every 10 minutes since they laid. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need somebody to tell you it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Yep. I get a lot of that. Matter of fact, just recently when we were dealing with that egg-bound snake, and that person kept messaging back like every half hour, well, she's moved in this position now. It's going to be months possibly. So just go on with your day and show her love and give her water and feed her when she needs to feed her.
I haven't seen an update lately on that one though.
Well, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, that's good then.
Because if it was bad, she'd be like, "You guys killed my snake." Jimmy Minham, how you doing, my friend? I hope you still got that girlfriend. Seen you're in a relationship on the Facebook, my boy. He's got a good channel. He's doing some cool edits too. I like
Who
that.
is?
Jimmy Minhan
Oh,
in the comments there. I have a question for y'all. Do you think we can get my vlog channel to 1,000 before the end of the year? Probably not.
no, we're already halfway through the year almost.
I don't think we need to get you anywhere, man. I think
You'll get there on your own.
I think you're well on your way. Just keep doing the videos the way you're doing them. You do really good edits. I love your attitude. I'm a fan, and I'll tell you if I'm not. You know that.
I'll tell you. You know, I did a vlog every day for 2 years. I think it was something like that. And depends on the channel and the content. You know, I thought I was doing okay. I got plenty of compliments about what I was doing, but sometimes the channel just gets stuck on a little rut and doesn't grow. And then it takes off, and then it gets in a rut, and then it takes off. And then there's somebody goes out there and goes, "Hey, look at my water bottle," and then you get 10,000 subscribers like that. I don't get it. I don't understand what.
Yeah, I don't know. Celtic. Yeah. Listen, your first clutch, you're gonna worry. Okay, you're gonna worry. But try to let those eggs just do their thing. I see that you're fan. I don't use a fan. Now this is something different. This is something that I suggest you use a fan. Don't do as I do. I don't use a fan in mine. My incubator, I purposely want each one of my shelves to be a little bit different in temperature for different combinations that I might put together. You know, my super cinnamon clutch that I have in the incubator right now, I want them to be at a little bit lower of a temperature than higher, because just to avoid kinking issues, the possibility of kinking issues, all these, there's little things that you can do. And then I like that. Sometimes I feel a little safer. If I'm breeding some stuff that may have issues, it's nice for me to have a variant. But the variant is within, no matter what shelf they're on, they're within hatching range. And that's usually 88.5 to 89.5 is where I usually keep it. And on my very bottom shelf, I have it will be at about 86.9, 87.
That's a good temperature for your like super cinnamons or your super black pastel stuff to avoid kinking and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't want to miss that. It seems Pedals and Scales, hello. Basil, since you jumped in here, I can talk about you all. If you guys, you can even join if you wanted to, but if you don't, that's okay. I'll just post that link in there if you want to join. But I have gotten some more donations for the Pedals and Scales. If you all don't know, we are putting on a raffle for the Pedals and Scales family here, who are awesome people. Now, I wanted to do this because I kind of have some stuff in common with these people. I have 7 brothers and sisters that are foster adopted brothers and sisters that started out as fosters, and I have a ton of respect for people that do that. It's a very selfless thing to do. And so I told them one day, hey, listen, you went through this horrible thing. They had lost some family members, and followed up by a pretty horrendous fire that took out a lot of their stuff and really just took their spirits down. And for such great people that have so much going on, it was a real cut down. So I told them, hey, listen, guys, I'm not really asking you. I'm just kind of telling you I want to do something for you. So we're going to kind of do it. So we're putting on a raffle. We've been donated quite a few things so far, from snakes to gear, shirts, gift cards. Like there's a lot of stuff actually coming in, and there's still room if people want to donate something for this. Feel free. Now we are going to set it up like a raffle situation. I don't have the set number. I will here in a future video, my regular videos. I will fill everybody in. We're still taking donations right now, but it's probably going to work like, again, this price isn't set in stone, but we're saying everybody who donates $10 will be put in this raffle. If you donate 20, your name goes on twice. If you donate, you get how it goes. You can donate as much as you want. Your name will stay on the wheel, and we will spin it per prize. So we're spinning we're spinning for this prize. That name comes up, that person will win that prize. All the money is going directly to Pedals and Scales. And I'm going to say this one more time because I don't want any confusion. I told them to use this money for whatever the heck they want. I don't know what their biggest need is. You don't know what their biggest need is. I just care that they get a little bit of a smile, let people know that they're there. All these big wigs, they get people helping them out left and right. You know what I mean? The smaller channels are easy to be skipped over, and I didn't want that to happen here. So we're just trying to raise a few bucks for a few smiles. That's it. And they wouldn't mind putting a little rack together, something like that, to be able to hold their snakes, which are at a friend's house that's not even a reptile person. So thankful that there's people out there like that for them. But they definitely don't have them secured the way they'd like them secured. So they were saying that maybe they'd like to be able to build a rack system or something like that, to be able to build something to put them in, be a little bit better, it would help them out. Now, again, I don't think we're going to be able to buy them a new house or anything like that. And they don't want us to buy them a new house. Okay. They didn't ask for any of this. It was put upon them. And I am very thankful that they are allowing me to go ahead and do it with their permission, because it'd be really hard to get their information without it. So I will ask them soon for their PayPal. But here's the thing, and I know people are going to disagree with me, and if you are, please keep it to yourself, because I'm not going to listen to you. I've been dealing with PayPal for a very long time. I know there's a lot of scary stories going around about PayPal right now. But if you're on board, you have nothing to freaking worry about. That I can guarantee. If you're on board, you can protect yourself. So everybody that sends a donation, they're going to take a couple dollars. They're going to take a little small percentage from you. Don't send it as friend and family. Send it through as a business transaction. Let them get their little piece of the cut. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want them to have any problems with their PayPal. Okay?
No, that's it. Yep.
If you send it as friend and family or something, and there's some controversy or there's some issues, that's not what we're trying to give these people. They just had controversies and issues. So I'm just saying that that's the way it's going to be set up. If you disagree, sorry. But I'm looking out for them. I don't want their PayPal to get shut down because they don't like that a raffle gave some money over there. So that's pretty much about how we're going to do it. I'll give you a quick list right now. Jerome from No Limit Royals, I know we put 2 shirts in. He may have put a gift card in too. I'm not really sure. I sent Chris a message earlier because I just didn't remember after I told him I remembered. We've got Not Lou, if he's still in here, thank you so much. He decided that he was going to go ahead and donate a breeder-sized female spider ready to go for your males. Also, a adult-sized male hypo ready for your females. He does ask that you pay shipping, a small price to pay. That said, that we might get some donations in for shipping costs and things like that too before this happens. This is going to happen on the 19th of next month. I needed to extend some time because I wasn't able to do any due diligence on getting the word out there and trying to get some stuff in. It's been a very busy time. No excuses, but my life hasn't been amazing lately. Been rough, but nothing we can't take care of. But I've had stuff going on. So I'm able to focus a little bit more on it now, and I wanted to have a little bit more time to do that. But not Lou, thank you. You're awesome. One of my old-time subscribers, Ben Blankenship, a great guy, first person to want to donate something. He actually just said, hey, I want to put this out there as a giveaway on your channel. Are you interested? I was like, hey, listen, I actually was just about to break some news about some friends of ours that are in need. Can we use that for this? And he's like, yes, let's do that. So he hooked up with a 2-tub, 28-quart tub rack. I believe it has the thermostat and probe and a bunch of other bedding even, shipped to your house. Pretty awesome. I'm putting out a $250 gift card for any of my whatever I hatch out or have or whatever. That can go towards shipping the animal, can go towards gear, shirts, whatever. Thank you, Jason. You're pretty awesome. I love you. I appreciate it, man. I love you too. What else? I've got people that want to donate some stuff. They just don't know what area they're going to go at. So there'll be more stuff coming as well. Kurtwood is going to be doing some sort of a surprise donation that he mentioned to me about, and I said, okay, I want to do that. I think that's a good idea, but I want you to work out these kind of details just to cover any kind of situation in case something don't work out, kind of like counting your eggs before they hatch type thing. But very awesome idea. So thank you. I'll be bringing a video about some of this stuff here pretty soon too. Todd from TNT Balls put a $150 gift card in from anything that he has on his site or anything he has for sale. A great team over there, TNT Balls. Mike from Boston Boas steps up, says, yo, you know, you got a temp gun coming for me. So he's throwing a temp gun. That will be another thing. So all the prizes in there will be worth way more than your single donation that you put in. And again, we will be putting out their information. If maybe you don't want to be in a raffle, maybe you just want to send them a little donation of whatever, we're going to give you their information as soon as I make sure from them that it's okay and we can do it in a safe way. And we'll give you that information and you can make donations to them. That's totally fine. I have no problem with that. All of you can get behind this. If you want to jump in on this and start making videos tomorrow and kick off your channel, you don't have content, here's content. Make a video, 3 videos a week about helping this family out and about how you're looking for donations for these amazing people. And I'll back you up and tell people to go check out your video you just put out. I get that all the time. Oh, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what videos to put out. Well, here you go. This is going on to the 19th. If you want to make a video every day about it, it's content. You know, it's content about how you can get cool, win cool stuff, how you can help cool people, and how you can be part of something that is bigger than yourself. You know, even a smile is bigger than yourself, man. You can be, you know, you can make somebody smile. That's a big deal to me. You know, it is. That's why when I get nervous, I try to make people laugh, or you know. That's why when I come on here, I try to help out, and all of you all do. All of you are like that. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I'll do a video for that too, just to get it out to people.
Yeah, you know, and listen, if you don't have money to donate to them, you're a bum. No, I'm like kidding. If you don't have money, that's fine. You can post this video. Post some, you don't like me, no problem. Post somebody else's video about it. I'm 100% okay with that. Make a little post about it. Hey, I hear this family use a little help. There's people doing something. Here's a little link to their stuff. Takes 2 seconds, don't cost you a dime, and it's just as valuable as if you donated a $1,000 snake. Honestly, a share goes way farther than even me putting in a $250 gift card or Notlu throwing in, you know, a couple snakes and stuff. That really does go far. You could be sharing that with the next person that makes the biggest difference, you know. I'm getting nothing from this. You all are going to get nothing from this, but smiles. That's all I want.
It's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. And honestly, I think that's what they need right now. You know, I mean, they got insurances. Not all insurances cover your crap. I know what they're dealing with right now because their garage is not attached to their house. I love trying to collect on insurance. They have no problem collecting from you. But when you go to collect from them, heart-wrenching. So at the end of the day, whatever they need to spend that money on to make that day easier or better for them is 100% fine with me. It's not about anything other than getting them to feel a little bit better. I couldn't imagine going through all that loss and then having that happen. I'd want to smile. It's time to smile. So that's all it's about. If you want to make videos about it, please do. You want to share a video about it, go ahead. If you want to share my other video about it, you want to share videos about the prizes, whatever. You make your own. Iron Dog Reptiles puts out a video. Share his, Todd's, D, anybody's. You don't have to be a big YouTuber to get shit done. And I'm going to explain something to y'all about that real quick right now. I have been part of a lot of big fundraisers, a lot of them. I don't even know them all, if I'm being honest with you.
Becky said she doesn't know who you are. She thought you fell off the face of the earth.
That's not what I said.
Oh, what? Who the hell is
I said,
it?
holy shit, who the hell's that? He fell off the face of the earth.
That's because I don't stalk her anymore.
It's because he doesn't stalk you, don't worry.
I'm too old to reach up and look through your window.
He's getting too old to reach up and look through the window, he said.
Oh, my windows are pretty low. You want to reach very high.
He might be really short, hon. I don't know.
That's your shit.
Yeah, our bedroom window's only a cup because we're in a lower level here on us where our bedroom's at, and it's only about 2 feet off the ground, so the window's really low to the ground. So I don't think there's much hopping up looking through windows.
Petals and Scales, we love you too. You guys are good people, man.
Yes, they are.
You're just good people, you know. And a lot of, like I said, man, if this was a big dog, have a bunch of big dogs jump up, and you know, you get a new car or some shit out of it, you know. I like to point out the people that don't really have a big voice.
I'm gonna tell you,
have a big voice, but I did start out with doing all these. I mean, no joke. We raised over 80-something thousand for the Ben Reddick auction.
Mm-hmm.
We raised over $28,000 for Sam Jeffers Foundation.
Let me ask my wife a question, hon. Do you remember when your mom's house burned down and we did that auction? Do you remember how much we raised for that? was like $5,000-$6,000 or something.
on super short notice.
Shoot, that was only a few week notice, and it was like that.
And listen, this is from small channels talking to other small channels.
Small channels. It was all small channel stuff. Yep.
Team Zach was like $50-something thousand. Another short notice, Rocky, who will be a guest on this channel again.
Oh, Rocky's awesome.
I always throw this book up. My boy Rocky, author, writer of this book right here. He will be on soon. But when his wife, he had to get rid of all of his animals. His wife came down with a lung issue where she couldn't breathe any danders of any sort or anything, and they had to give up all the animals that they loved and everything else. They needed an air purifier, and
Cheryl has the thing right here.
We're like, let's do it. Let's get him an air purifier, and we did. So just because you're a little channel, man, doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean nothing.
Cheryl wants to put in a t-shirt.
I appreciate that, man. Yes, you could put in a t-shirt for the auction, Sherry. I would love that. You can feel free to connect with me on any of the social media deals, and we'll hash it out. I'll write your name down on that. You most certainly can. And again, you don't necessarily have to donate. You can be a purchaser. You can just put money in and try and win some stuff. That's helping out a ton. Sharing this video helps out a ton. Donating stuff helps out a ton. If you donate stuff, we'll definitely be able to put your name out there. You can make videos of your own while you're doing your lives and stuff and let people know about it. People want to surround themselves around other good people. That's another thing too. And that's something that's happened in this community over the last year that we've never had. And Andrew, how many communities have we been part of together over the last 4 or 5 years? A lot. And then Chris as well, Iron Dog Reptiles will tell you too. He's been a part of these different little communities. This is the first community that's walking the walk. And that's because of you guys.
I could tell you this little community here help each other more than any other one I've ever seen. And they do help each other very well. When you need help with something, I mean, like, I could have swore that, didn't we do an auction for, not me, but somebody did, when Todd's uncle died and they couldn't bury her? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We just kind of helped him out. And
is that what it was? I don't remember.
He had the family had a GoFundMe type thing set up, and we got the word out and stuff. Yep. No. Another great guy, Todd, and his wife Tasha.
Oh, absolutely great people.
Yeah, Todd's a cutie and all, but I miss seeing Tasha in the videos. But for sure, this community is for all you people that are just getting in here and just getting to know this community. Just know that you've walked in on something special, and I've been doing this. I'm not bragging that I've been doing this. I wish I didn't have to go through the shit that I've had to go through over the years, let alone with the YouTube stuff, just with breeding. Join a forum. If you think Facebook groups or something, oh my God, forums and shit. Forums that you're trying to find the person's house because you want to go and whack them. I mean,
I've seen people get death threats on forums. My buddy Gary had a forum, and the FBI had to be called out because they actually had a picture of the guy's house, and they're like, "Well, I'm going to show up at your house." I was like, "Whoa, get serious, yeah."
Well, I appreciate that, Mason. Though that you got that book. I can't say enough good things about my boy Rocky, and he will be on. Actually, I'm sending him my old webcam, and I was supposed to send it to him 2 weeks ago, and I just haven't. I'm a freaking bum. Whose car is out there? I don't like when people park next to my bike. Sorry. It irritates me. Oh. Yeah. So listen. Stay tuned. Be watching. Andrew's channel here again. Andrew, if you could put that link, go ahead and find that link real quick for your show. This is and let everybody know, kind of give them a quick rundown about your show that you have with Gary real quick.
It's all about reptiles, of course, and everything like that. And they talk about anything, all kinds of the top topics and stuff like that. And I
got a question for him now. Now, Gary is trying to fix the gecko problem. Is that
absolutely
that right?
Yes.
Now, by fixing the gecko problem, because a lot of people might not know this, that there's a few different albinos in
Yes.
geckos,
3
and
different types of albinos, and none of them are intermixable. Like if you breed them, you get all normals.
And the problem is that they've been mixed for many of years, and now nobody knows what albino they're actually getting. Or
it has actually ruined certain morphs. You got like the Murphy's patternless morph, and they cannot. You don't know. Some people say it's head for this and head for that, but he's reverse engineering it back to just being a reverse engineering. Now that takes a lot of
big. That's big. This should have happened 15 years ago.
He says it takes a minimum of like 80 eggs to get back to the normal, to the right back to.
So imagine that, all you ball python breeders out there. Imagine that if that was the circumstance that you had to deal with. Now you're trying to breed back to basic. Like you're not trying to breed that crazy thing that you're trying to get that one off. You're trying to breed back to basic to fix
the problems.
A hobby that severely damaged.
Well, there's morphs out there that have genetic flaws in it, and them are so intermixed with things,
right?
You don't know, and he has to work it out and breed it out of it, and it takes a minimum of 80 eggs to even be somewhat close to where you think you're back to a normal.
And that's big. That's a big thing, and he's doing it. He's been doing it, and he's doing it. Seems like he's making progress. That's not like something like it might work. He's progress.
Very close on a couple things, like another year. He'll have these other things back to basics. And it's just crazy how the gecko community has went with that. But yeah, he's doing a massive giveaway on here to get the followers over because he's writing a book that's going to be free. It's online. It's an online book, just about about their. It's going to be about their just from the beginning until now, where we're at and where the future's going with it, and the lineage of all this stuff. And it's. Good channel to check out. He's doing a massive giveaway, and he would greatly appreciate all the help he can get if people go over and subscribe. Yep. Yes.
So go over there and join for that giveaway. Try to get free loot, and you might stay for some information and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. See, here's the deal. If you can learn gecko, this is no joke. He could explain it to you in person very well. If you can learn gecko genetics, it makes ball python genetics much simpler because the gecko genetics is so confusing. Compared to ball pythons, you learn the ball pythons, you can learn any of the other reptile. I mean, if you learn the gecko genetics, you can learn all the other all the other reptile genetics with ease because it's much simpler. Yeah, there he is.
And you can find that on Amazon. You can also get it from Rocky himself. So I'll have Rocky on here within the next week to 2 weeks or so. And he can tell you a way to get it directly from him as well. You're just supporting a good guy who's been in this for a long time that does whatever he can to be part of it, even though he can't have these animals around, because of his wife's stuff, an issue and stuff. But hey, listen, if you don't want to go check out Rocky for no other reason, this old salt right here, he got a hot young old wife, let me tell you.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
I'll show you a picture on my video, but he got a young wife. This guy's slick. He's slick, but he's like a really nice person. He's a super nice guy. He reminds me a lot of Brian Gundy. He really does. Wouldn't you say? Does he? Mm-hmm. His mannerisms and the way he talks and the way he feels about people. I love that. And Brian Gundy is another person that I would suggest anybody go to if you ever have a question. I mean,
he's happy to answer him.
He put his phone number right under his video. You can call him anytime when you got a problem. You call him. Like he's cool like that.
Derek, it's the link in the video link I just put up there.
Exactly.
His name is Gary. Fauna Radio. Definitely go subscribe to that channel if you guys could, please. He would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, he just actually, Gary. I had a weird call not too long ago, and I don't really know Gary, so. As perspective to what I'm about to say, I don't really know Gary. I've only seen him with Andrew a few times. That's it. I don't really know him. But I get a call last week, 2 weeks ago. Hey, got a reference. Somebody wants to buy one of our geckos. We have some special geckos. They're hard to come by. And they said they knew you, and I just wanted to call you and find out if they were cool, or if they knew his stuff, or if these things are gonna be okay at his place. And I was like, oh, actually, yeah. I personally don't know him very well, but he's a lot like I am. I like to talk a lot, and I hate people like me. So, so I don't know if we will kick it off right away, but we definitely will kick it off given some time.
He's one of the bigger gecko breeders in the country.
Yeah.
He's one of the larger ones.
Yep. So I don't mind listening to a guy who talks a lot when if I was a gecko person, you know what I mean. But he knows his stuff, and he's not obnoxious in any sort of way. So you don't have to worry about it. He cares.
Thank you, lady.
He cares. He's doing something really cool.
Yeah, I could tell you something about him. He's got a very good business mind to him. I'm trying to think of what the name of the company him and his brother opened up. It's a reptile community, a reptile thing. But he doesn't do it. He let his brother take it over, and now he just does the geckos. He says it on that video that I just posted several times, so you'll see it on there. But yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, I definitely told him. I said, listen, I don't know him personally on stuff, so I can't tell you if he treats his wife okay or whatever. But I can tell you he knows his geckos probably better than we do. So yeah, he'll be good to go. I don't know if he ever mentioned that to you, but I'm surprised he even mentioned my name, to be honest with you. He said he knew me. And I was kind of surprised, not that he doesn't know me, because he does, but it's like, oh, it's out of the blue. So that was kind of cool. Like, somebody's asking a reference on him to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But I assured them that when it comes to geckos, he's the guy that they're going to need to ask. They go ask him a question about if they need to. So hopefully got the gecko. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I was actually kind of surprised people were getting references. I'm like, really? Somebody asked me to buy a reference and shit. I try to buy a snake. I think I'd be like, you want a reference? You want me to give you information of somebody else that I know to buy a snake? I'm not doing that.
No, they might not want your information out there.
But these people, they love their animals. She actually comes and gets rats for me. Maybe once every 2 years, she'll come and get a rat, new pet rat. And she will spend hours going through all my rats to pick out the right one. But you guys got to understand, my breeder rats that I breed to feed, they live it up.
Yeah.
They take up a lot of my time that I enjoy.
I'll tell you what, though. A person who breeds their own food and shows respect to the food items and treats them decent is treating their animals decent.
Well,
also.
and it shows. It'll show all the way around. Breeding, all that stuff, it will show. It will show. And listen, she came to buy a pet for me, a guy that's breeding these rats to feed to snakes. And she's a super animal lover type person. Mm-hmm. So I was just, when she came back and she wanted to buy more rats and stuff, I was pretty proud of myself, because look, these are the people that just called me to find out a reference about somebody buying a gecko of theirs. You know what I mean? And they're buying, so I was like, I guess I take care of my rats pretty good for them to come and want one of my rats when they could go somewhere else for rats. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. Yes, definitely appreciate you subscribing there, lady. And lady, you're new person to my channel too, and it's very good to see you. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already. We do a lot of fun stuff here. It's not just going to be reptile talk stuff. I do game shows and stuff. I make my own games, Snake-O, which is like Plank-O, and a bunch of cool stuff. We do a lot of giveaways and fun stuff like that. All my giveaways from here on out, though, will just be subscriber related. They will no longer be subscriber number related. Mm-hmm. That just gets me irritated. So it will only be rewarding subscribers. You watch it. I don't care if I reach 3,000 subscribers or 4,000 subscribers. I'm having fun at 3,000 subscribers right now, and I don't think I'll have fun at 5,000. I don't. If I have to work really hard and I don't have much time as it is to have the subscribers I have, I'm comfortable with this group of people you see over here in the chat. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable with the people I see in the chat when I'm on their shows. I'm happy. I'm content.
Talking about doing giveaways always runs me back to my favorite giveaway I ever did, which was that pine snake, the Christmas Mountain gopher snake that Corporal Soto got.
Oh, I wanted that, man.
And the bag said on it, "Good luck." And he opened that bag. That was the best open.
And I think I thought right away he was gonna be like, all right, you can have the snake. I don't think he ever touched it again.
No.
After that. I think that was the last day he ever messed with that snake.
Yeah,
New things are totally awesome.
he gave it away to somebody, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my rats are really tame too. I got bit by a rat once, and that's because they chewed a hole through the thing. And I was like, and I was showing my wife, look, they chewed a hole through, and I stuck my finger in there, and it thought I was giving them food because I'm always giving them little foods with my finger. And it came over and was like, here, I'll bite that. It tried to bring my finger to the back, like it was going to give it to one of its friends. And that's the only time I've been bit by one of my rats. And he totally was like, oh, shit, I didn't know. He looked like he felt bad, that rat.
You know, when you raising them rats and you feeding them all, you know, you're taking care of them and all, you kind of get attached to them sometimes. So it's kind of sometimes hard to say, you know what, today's your day.
every time. Today was that day. And I don't like doing that on days like I do lives either, because it really does affect the rest of my day. And if my wife's here, it's even freaking worse, because she really dramatizes it up. I'm like, look, I don't like doing this as it is. Can you just leave or something? Make me feel so bad.
Well, the problem I had is my daughter had a cage set up in her room, and every time she would come over and you'd have all these little baby rats, she'd be like, I want this one, I want that one.
We have a lot of amazing people in this community. Like I said already, and I'll say it again, I've been a part of a lot of communities. And I always try to be a nice, honest person, but I also make other people be honest as well. Like, I don't have a problem telling somebody, you know, you're wrong or whatever, if it's the right thing to do. But this group of people is awesome. They really are. And I've seen people fight. There's a few people in here that have a little bit of disdain with each other, but never once have I ever seen them make a video about them. Ever. You know what I mean? And they could have. There's been opportunities, and I appreciate them. I appreciate them even more, though, because they have some little beefs with each other, but instead of bringing it out to all of us to, you know, be part of their problem or their issue that they have with each other, they're really respectful about it. So even when there is issues, it's handled pretty well. I'm impressed.
His wife just found that she loves it. It happens.
Yeah. Those Rex
Thank
are
you, lady.
That's what I do.
Please subscribe to my channel too. It'd be great. Thank you, lady.
Yeah, everybody subscribes to everybody here, and I'll have to go back and subscribe to y'all's channel because I'm on the StreamYard right now, and I'm not on the YouTube. But for all the new people names in here, I'll come back and check you out. Don't worry. And actually, I'm probably going to turn you blue before the night's over anyway, because I've had some really awesome conversations with y'all in chat already. And if you turn out to be a jerk, I'll just get rid of you. And we will move on.
And we will move on, yes.
And we will move on. No. Just respect everybody. That's all it really is. Just respect the differences. Like, that's why I'm here. I want the differences. I don't want everybody to be me.
As long as you can
me.
As long as you can talk it out and be friends at the end of the day. Even if at the end of the conversation you still don't agree with each other, but just be like, well, we're good.
Here's one of my winners right here, Cold-Blooded Monsters. How you doing, my friend? He was the 3,000 subscriber winner, which I haven't even hit 3,000 subscribers yet. That's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. I wanted to give it away, so I did. And that, my friend, was the winner right there, Cold-Blooded Monsters. And that snake is
cool.
Wasn't he, my friend? You just had somebody else in here tell you how chill that snake was. I'll tell you right now. That person says it's chiller than his dogs. I'll guarantee you that snake that Cold-Blooded has is chiller than even that snake. Is that snake the chillest snake you ever been around, or what? He is so cool. It was so hard to give that snake away. Have it for a year as a giveaway snake. Beautiful pastel.
Thank you, lady.
It hurt.
Yeah, no, Cold-Blooded Monsters is cool.
He was very, very, and it came at a good time. He wasn't feeling too good. I don't know what the heck happened, but he was in the hospital at the time. I sent him a little message. I said, hey, man, I don't know what's up. I don't know if I can make you feel better, but I hope this makes you feel a little bit better. You won that giveaway for the pastel pie. And I guess the first snake he wanted to get was a pie. So you got a pastel pie. A pretty unique one on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love pies. Pies are my favorite of all ball python morphs.
Not mine.
No?
Nope.
I'll tell you what. If you don't like them, send them all to me. You could
White snakes are the worst. I don't care. I'll tell you. I make all my money off of white snakes too, just so you know. I hate white snakes. I hate snakes with any white on them at all.
I wonder if my dog would
They're
disappear.
dirty.
It
They
would.
look good for 3 days, and then they look like crap for the rest of the time until they shed out. They roll in their own poop. What color shirt you got on there, Bex?
It's green, just like the green screen.
Yeah.
Same color and blue.
See, now,
Well, it's just like
holy crap, that's even weirder.
it's Keystone White. It's the raspberry lime beer
With
with the.
Bulldog on it, and
Yeah.
the bulldog is green.
If you all hit that like button, there's a chance
And this
Becky
is-
might start slapping on Andrew. It happens.
Yeah, it
He
does.
likes to give him a good whack in the head
He's-
sometimes. I love it.
He's telling everybody that if everybody hits the like button or subscribe button, there's a chance that you smack me.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, see, there we go. I just shouldn't have said no. I shouldn't have said no.
She was gonna do it anyway. I could tell as soon as she came around, her hand starts getting twitchy. She don't even know
Oh,
why.
man, you got really
She starts
good
getting twitchy.
friends.
He said as soon as you come around, you could notice your hand was like twitching. Like, go ahead, smack.
She's just like, I think I got to hit something.
Look at her
Like,
nails
my
are going.
fingernails disappear too.
Oh, that's sick. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna pay for the whole thing here, and I'm gonna get the.
Well, they got two kinds. They got this one here, which just hooks to the back of your chair, and then they got the one that sits up. But the one that hooked this one here was $19, and I think the other one was like $25. It comes with a pole system that you set up behind you, which is just good.
I know,
The only reason
yeah.
I put it on a chair is because this is a high volume area right here, and if I couldn't put a big, huge thing up, where behind you there's
No, yeah, no, well, no, I think that's your thing too. I think because then I could do it wherever I'm at.
yeah, wherever you're at, it packs up real nice and neat.
Did I see a question here? Did you actually call them? Okay. We called her Mad Cow, Mad Cat. Yeah, she got the mad cow disease.
No, I didn't actually call you Mad Cow. I call you Sherry. I never said Mad Cow.
You have an angry sun-kissed corn, huh? I have a corn who has a giant fat belly right now because he took a giant meal today. Albino corn. I took him a few months back as something I never do. I never do rescues. If you're a breeder, here's another tip for you. If you're a breeder or something like that, don't get into the rescuing and breeding. I don't want to buy your snakes if you're doing rescues and breeding. I'm not interested in that. And you can't ask for a bigger mess to put upon you than to try and do that. So bless all the people out there that are trying to rehab and give snakes a good home and all that stuff. But don't be a breeder and do that crap. Because people that know what's up and know what's doing and shit, they don't like it.
I do. That is a beautiful combination of corn snake. I do like corn snakes. I
That's how
have
you
some bull
spread.
snakes. I have some bull snakes down here. I got some king
Got any of those
snakes.
left for sale?
Yeah, I got the red one. And it's a true Okatee. Okatee. What am I saying? It's a true Kingsville red. You got many different forms of red, and you'll hear people say, "Well, they only use the Kingsville red to do a sale." No, this is 100% true Kingsville red because the person that bred it got their original ones many years ago from the person that truly had the Kingsville reds. It was true, and it's a true Kingsville
You
red.
don't know bull snakes are actually within the next couple of years are going to be one of those things. They're coming into their own very quickly. It's one of
Yes.
those things they're starting to sprout. So if you're getting into breeding and thinking about clubrids, I know some people are into ball pythons. Might be a way you might want to go.
Yeah, and they got all different morphs, and it's a male. But the thing is that you never know what morphs with them. They're kind of got all messed up too to a point because you don't know what they're all head for. You can breed it and come up with albinos, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, bull snakes are on their way up, and they're going to be taking over a lot of. Not taking over, but they're going to take a big chunk of the reptile community. A lot of people are going to start focusing on them like they do with ball pythons. Ball pythons are big. They're going to get big too. So,
Yep. So some people don't want to have a big giant, a big ball python, a heavy body snake like that. It'd be a good market to get into here coming up, for sure. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to end this here pretty soon, a few minutes. Keep in mind that this is not this video right here, this live that we're doing right here. It's just kind of introduction of what we have planned coming up. Hopefully, Andrew can join me next Saturday. And And at that point, I'm actually going to start going over some topics and some stuff in a little bit more detail, things from different stories and different things that people have learned and things like that. So we're going to try and make them a little bit more organized and have a lot of fun with it. We're definitely going to have a lot more people in. We're having this roundtable. This roundtable itself is really just about reptile care type stuff. We're also going to kind of form a roundtable that is. This is going to be a roundtable to kind of get stuff off your chest. You know what I mean? A safe, comfortable way to debate things, and at the end of it, hopefully both sides will feel like they had their say. I think that when we have these issues that come up, and I keep saying the feeding thing because it is a big thing, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff from. I hate saying this from the big dogs. You know, I hate saying that because like I've always been that guy that hates the big dog. You know what I mean? I like that underdog. You know, I don't really hate any of the big dogs here though. They're all good people, amazing. But you always hear that. I actually lost track of that. My wife's messaged me. Why she gotta? Oh my God! Don't get in the medical field, everybody. They're working her to death, man. Now she's got to stay in there until 7 in the morning.
I agree, and they do. They take it. I think they take advantage of the people in that situation.
Astronomy, yeah, I've always been big into that myself.
Oh, astronomy is awesome.
I think it's because I go to the planetarium tripping on acid though when I was younger. When do the laser light shows and all that shit.
I got a question for you, Youper.
Yeah.
And it's not reptile related.
I like pink underwear.
What are you going to do on June 1st here when they come out and say that UFOs are real, bud? Because they're releasing all their information. I thought you were. Oh, it's ghost. It ghosts. You don't believe it.
There's no ghost. There's no ghost.
All right, whatever you say, bud. All right.
But UFOs, man, I'd be silly to think that there isn't something out there smarter than us. Matter of fact, I fucking hope there is.
I would hope so too.
Excuse my language, but yeah, I always felt that there's shit there. I've never seen them. I thought once I seen some shit and this and that, but I've never seen nothing. It is one of the one things that if I don't have proof in hand, that I'm just not going to go with it, and you're not going to sway me. But I'd be ignorant to think that we're the only life forms out there. And it's not. Look at in 200 years, we went from riding horses to having battery-operated cars, combustion engines, all these crazy shit that if you would have went back 200 years ago and say, "Hey, they're going to do this," you'd be like, "Yeah, no way." You know?
No way.
So if some other creature out there, thing out there, is even 200 years older than we are,
just think of how advanced they are. Yeah.
Now, listen, evolution is kind of a weird thing. There could be older life forms out there, but they might not be life forms that
have any kind of intelligence.
Made wheel, got fire, or had opposable thumbs, or the combinations might not be. But to think that there's no other life form out there is just crazy.
I'll tell you what happened the other day, though, Youper. 4:30 in the morning. My daughter was getting ready to leave for work at 4:30 in the morning, right? And she comes, gets me. She's like, "Dad, is this a meteor shower or is this UFOs or what?" And she had me go outside and look, and it was this perfect string of lights going across the sky. And here it's Elon Musk's satellites because he puts them 60 in a row.
I had a ton of people at the same time. That was just last fall, right?
Yeah, no, this was just the other day. You can see them.
Still going, but last fall they're real because the where we were setting them in the line. Mm-hmm. People were giving, "Oh my God, there's stripes of them. They're just flying right after each other." I'm like, "Nah, it's satellites."
Yeah, that's Elon Musk because he puts them in rows of 60 or something.
Hey, I like I said, I don't know if there is, but I'd be stupid to think that there isn't or there couldn't be. And people say when they say, well, if they're, why wouldn't they come here and they just take over our world? Well, if they're coming here, maybe our world isn't all that pretty to take over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they could be looking at us like, look at these fools. Let's watch them and see how they do.
They could be looking at us as they used to be us, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they may have figured it out. Who knows? The opportunity is there now. But ghosts, you will never flip me on the ghost. And I say that because I lived in a home that's in a library today about the ghosts that are in this house. There's so much says ghosts are real in this situation that I dealt with at that time. But every single thing was explained, and then I seen for myself that it was all, most of it was right here.
Well, that's what that ends up playing part of it too, is people end up with their head. But I'll tell you, Michio Kaku, this, I don't know.
But that said, I don't know if there's ghosts or not. I don't have any proof that there isn't. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Michio Kaku, I guess that's how I pronounce his name, said that people always ask him, because he's big into the alien stuff, and they're like, well, why don't you think aliens have ever landed to come in here? He goes, do you ever think that they're monitoring us? And when we get to the point to where they think that we could be a threat to them, that's when they're going to come and step down and let themselves be known. I mean, like, guys, you're going down the wrong path with this, because if you think we can get here, there's things out there much worse than us.
Well, if we're going to conspiracy theory type situations, and my thoughts is that they probably already have done that multiple times. I'm thinking if that's the situation, I don't have any. How much of this can I even say? I think I've mentioned this before, so I'll say as much as I've mentioned before. But my brother, career military, Army Ranger, he had a contract where he was probably third or fourth line at Area 51. They were in the field for a couple weeks, and they were just guarding perimeter. And there was 5 miles in from them, there was another group guarding perimeter, and 5 miles in from them, there was another group guarding perimeter, and they all don't know each other or even knew each other were there the whole time. But he actually told me some other stuff too. But he did the stuff that this is just me talking. I'm nobody, so I can say whatever I want, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, his thing was that they did what so much that they had UFOs is that they found what they had there from the people that he was talking up to, some bigger people in the military, the Ken Career Ranger, that they have artifacts there, is what they have. So whatever the alien stuff is artifact. It isn't an
actual ship.
It isn't something they picked up in 1969 or whatever year it was or 1949 or whatever it was.
49, I think it was. Yeah, no, I got you. No,
that the stuff they have is multiple, and that they're actually artifacts that they have found. So if that's real, talk about freaking scary. These things have been buried in the earth back when the dinosaurs were here. If that's real, if that's the case, that should give you an idea. How far.
And to think
David
of that,
Icke, I like David Icke, but I like David Icke like I like Michael Moore.
Oh my God!
When you got an agenda and you can sell it real well, I'm interested. I'll watch.
Yeah. Taking that to another level, though, see if you think it's going back that far. Did you ever think that maybe the Earth had a further advanced civilization on it that wiped itself out somehow, and then that stuff that's left over?
Well, then that goes back to like Nibiru and stuff like that, because you had Othos or whatever the heck his name was, and the Betharians or whatever the hell they were, the giants, and that thing. A lot of that quite possibly could be. I wouldn't say that. I say that there's more chances of that stuff being realistic than ghosts.
You're really dead set against ghosts. I gotta laugh at that.
Not because I'm hating against it. Like, a ghost is the one thing I wish was always real. My whole life I spent like, hey, I'm in the creepiest of places. My brother, 3 years older than me, crying for me to stop, and I'm like, look, I know we're in a creepy place, and I know you're a ghost and this that, but I would, however you need to manifest yourself, I would love for you to just appear right now or give me some. My brother, shut the fuck up, man, shut up. I'm like, dude, I need to. Like, if I see a Bigfoot on my way home tonight, I'm jumping off my motorcycle and I'm grabbing a handful of fucking hair, and if he rips me all apart, he rips me all apart. Get me some Bigfoot hair. You know what I'm saying?
Pedals and scales. Pedals and scales. That's another thing. it could be our own stuff. We're just more advanced and they're letting people know, and we don't know what the stuff is because we're the public. We're not in the military, and they may not even tell all the military of what it is because they don't want the whole military to know. It could just be stuff that top secret stuff. Yeah, I agree with that.
Well,
very possible.
The presidents, every time a president comes in, they're like, well, I asked about him, and they said, there's nothing really. Well, Area 51 is not a government base. There's nothing about it that says an American flag on it. It has nothing to do with it. We do have a secret government. And they're secret because they work with stuff that is so top secret that our bigwigs who are in charge of our company really can't even know about it because, they're dealing with stuff like we had the microwave 100 years before we got the microwave type stuff.
Yes, we did. They had the microwave back in the 40s.
Right. So, I mean, there's things that are world changing if they released, that type of stuff. Okay,
let me ask you a question and related to that. What would you think their agenda is to have all this stuff?
What stuff in general?
Right, like this, like a secret government that has all this secret, top secret stuff. What do you think the agenda is with all that?
Power.
Okay, but they never do. But they don't do nothing with it, though. That's what I'm saying.
Again, hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
We are the baddest mother effers on the face of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Because of our technology. Are we the smartest country of people out there? I don't think so. Were we smart enough to steal some of the smartest scientists from the smartest countries out there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. You can't.
You understand what I'm asking, right? Like.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how I can answer it in a way that makes the most sense to you. Like I think we've always, if it's true, I think we've always been doing it. Like we have things, we know things or we're doing things that other countries aren't. Listen, China outdoes us in numbers, money, volume, all that stuff. How come they're not a bigger military superpower than we are?
That I've often wondered that.
Maybe it's because we got the touch. Maybe we got the old alien touch before they did. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they are real or not. But how do we know we haven't used their technology and that's why we're at today?
Yeah, and you take a look at Russia, for instance. All their equipment is outdated and run down. But look at ours. How's that? I got what you're saying there.
I think we cut the deal. You know what I mean? We shook J-Rock's hand. Hello, J-Rock, alien gray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we probably treated him shit, kept him hostage because that's what America does. I love our country, but I mean, we got to where we're at because we asserted ourselves to take it.
Yeah.
Not us as a group. We didn't do it. You know what I mean? But our forefathers were assholes, to be the truth. It's just how it is. But then again, what would you want one of these other countries being the world superpower?
No.
I don't want China being my world superpower. I don't think I'd want Russia necessarily being my superpower. I definitely don't want anywhere in the Middle East being my superpower. I mean, they've hated each other for 2,000 years.
They hate each other.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They've been warring each other forever and a day. They stopped for a brief minute when we had this president that was very controversial. He was the only one that ever got him to stop for a few weeks. That was kind of nice. We won't mention his name. If I can get kicked off of YouTube or something. Can't say anything about anything anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Nordic aliens there. You're going with the Nordics? I don't know if the Nordics are there real. I don't know. I think we got. There's a video that I always go back to. I love the way they do it. It's I probably mentioned it to you before, and I can't really explain it to you, but it kind of gives the story of how we got here and why we have these different religions and where we actually our strands came from, and not of this earth. The Martians were like the people, the gods that came from these different areas is how they say we started, and Atlantis sank and all this stuff, and it was pretty cool. But what they were doing, it was basically like our future us are the aliens that we see today, and they're not necessarily coming back here to help us, but to hinder us or to stop us, from making the same thing because we're not on the same dimension, I guess, or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I heard a strange theory that all the UFOs and stuff that you see and stuff like that are time traveler from the way, way, way in the future trying to make us so we don't make a mistake or something. They're trying to find a spot that they can come in and correct the situation before it goes wrong. But I don't know.
Right. Is my dog still here? They didn't take the dog with them when they left? Oh, she's not riding on the motorcycle. I can assure you all that. She jumps on it when I'm ready to leave, though, but she doesn't know what she's getting into. Sorry, I had to send a message to my son to come get the dog. Wait. My wife's got the truck. How is this planned out? This was a shit plan.
Huh?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Maybe you should drive over on your motorcycle, drop the motorcycle off, let your wife take it, and then...
No. It will be her bike here after July if she passes her test.
Oh, yeah? That's cool.
Yeah. That'd be nice. But we are going to go ahead and jump off of here. 2-hour night, which is good. I told you we'll be doing longer hours. We're going to do, again, this will be planned out better. This was just a little bit of a hodgepodge of what we have kind of planned here. Me and Andrew haven't discussed a lot of the situation here. We just both knew that we can trust each other's word on stuff. We both know that we can disagree with each other, and that doesn't mean we don't like each other,
No.
And hopefully that will show over time for other people to kind of handle their stuff the same way, because we will have arguments. He's a ghost guy. I'm not a ghost guy. I'm a very much gotta, not only do I gotta see it to believe it, but I gotta have the information while I'm seeing it to believe it. Like, I'm a hard case. Proof has to be more than just seeing,
I'll tell you.
And I only say that because my whole family are kind of, on my father's side, are kind of swindlers, and they are really amazing at getting people to believe something that they just didn't believe 5 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
And they do that by setting up the scenario in the way that it only works out that way. So whenever I hear people try and convince somebody that a ghost lives in their house or something, well, show me. You say that this is happening all the time. Well, let's see it happen then, if it's happening all the time. So I'm that kind of person, which makes me and Andrew perfect for each other. Yeah,
well, we've had some pretty deep discussions, I guess you could say, that we're kind of like total disagree. But yet when we go to hang up the phone, we're cool.
Oh, yeah. No, every time. And there's no like, oh, sorry's about it either. You know what I mean? It's not that. Like, we're friends, and we respect that we have these differences, and it makes it interesting. And there's been times where the other person has proved the other person right.
Oh.
And then minds have been changed. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Change for the better, you know what I mean? There's been plenty of times Andrew has said something, I'm like, no. And then one time you say it in a different kind of a way, and then it sparks on me.
Yeah, same in this way. Yep.
Like, I see it. I see what you're seeing now.
Yeah.
That's the worst. If we all do that, though, the world will be a better place for sure. Pedals and Scales. Know that we're doing a lot of stuff. Again, we're doing the Pedals and Scales raffle on the 19th, and I will start accepting money probably a week before that or so. I won't be accepting money. It'll be going directly to their PayPal deal, and we'll get everybody's names, and we'll put it on a wheel, and there'll be a bunch of winners winning cool stuff. I'm still taking donations. If you have something you might want to donate, feel free to reach out to myself. You can reach out to, I'm sure Andrew will be fine with it. Chris from our Reptiles, Justin, anybody you see in the chats, they will get the word back to somebody, and we'll make that happen. But again, sharing goes so far. Yes, I've seen Sherry put some here. Yes, I do know a lot of people in this hobby. Again, I've been doing it for a long time, and I've made a lot of good friends with a lot of the big dogs out there. And some of those big dogs actually learned from me before they became a big dog. You know what I mean? And that's really awesome. So there is people out there that I can get people in touch with. But just because the big dogs don't mean that they're more important than you all, okay? And what you all do today matters tomorrow, no matter if you're a big dog or not. So what you're working on today and breeding and doing today can affect any one of us in here tomorrow. So it's always in our best interest to help each other. And
Exactly.
we do that by giving you all stories of things that have happened to us, some real life experiences, some firsthand knowledge, and none of the stuff that has to do with reptiles, not ghosts and aliens, will only be fact based. We're not going to give you our opinion as fact. It just won't happen.
No.
It just won't happen. That said, we are human. We can make verbal mistakes. We can leave things out sometimes because it's a habit. You know, when I breed a certain thing, I might do this one little thing that I just do out of habit, and I don't tell you about it when I'm breeding it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, my thing didn't come out that way. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's because you didn't do this. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. These are little simple mistakes that can happen. So that's why we always say that if you hear something from me to tell you to do a certain way, it's in your best interest to see what a few other people have to say about it. Research through other things. Don't just take one word or so. See what the overall say is, and then make your best decision. Because at the end of the day, it is your responsibility, not the person telling you how to do it. It's your responsibility. So make good choices. Research. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, don't ever be afraid.
Don't let somebody make you feel like you're not worth something because you asked a question that they thought was silly. As soon as you see that shit, say, "Oh, you're a bum," and get out. Let them know they're the bum. You know what I mean? All those people that used to do that Godfather Exotics and all those other people that used to shit on everybody for asking them questions, they're nowhere to be found today. None of them. So don't be that guy. And Godfather Exotics isn't a terrible guy anymore, but he did used to do a lot of that shit back in the day. I don't know if he still does. Who cares? But regardless, I appreciate you all. Andrew, stick around until after the show so we can go over a few things for next week, if you're being or not. Again, my roundtable is set up like this. If I ask you to join my roundtable, I'm pretty much asking you to dedicate at least one day out of your month. That's all I'm asking, and I'll be willing to reciprocate in any sort of way needed. That way, this group of people will always have a continuous line of help if they need it. You know what I'm saying? And that if Andrew disappears for a little bit, I'm not going to have all your answers. There's a lot of times where I go to Andrew, hey, what do you think about this? You know, I know maybe neither one of us have ran into this situation before, but what have you heard about this? And when bounce these things off of each other, and this is a place that you all can come in and do the same thing. So
perfect. I agree.
We also have plans doing a roundtable over debating stuff. And that I think will be a lot of fun. And that will probably start off with me and Andrew doing some debate things, because I want to be able to show you all that when you have a debate, it's not necessarily about winning the debate. It's about opening up one other person's mind to what you're saying or what you're
Agreed.
doing. It's not always about winning, because sometimes winning is just getting that right person to listen. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Don't forget the Pedals and Scales. On June 19th will be the day. Be watching for more videos to kind of give you more updates on how you can get involved and when you actually start sending the money over. I do need to talk to Pedals and Scales, so I will be reaching out to you pretty soon. Short phone call or something like that, or even text message to find out what your PayPal information, if you're comfortable with that. Again, everybody's going to be sending you the PayPal as business, not as friends and family, because I don't want anybody getting any hassles with PayPal or losing bank accounts or frozen things like that. We have a lot of giveaway stuff coming up here in the future. We have something else. I can't remember. It'll be fun. That's all I know. Andrew, thank you so much. Also, hopefully, if this works out well and we start motivating, they'll probably go to 2, maybe even 3 times a week at different hours than other people's shows. So don't worry, we're not looking to step on toes. We just might be able to bring a lot of stuff to the table here coming up in the near future on multiple different channels. And we also have a lot of plans to help out your all's channels as well, and how you can do that. Again, one of those ways are you can share videos that are doing things where they're trying to raise money for charities and things like that, share those, make videos about them, jump on part of the game. You are not going to offend me if you make the same exact video I make when it comes to helping somebody. I don't care if you use every word I used. I don't care. I don't care. Like, you looking to make videos, you want content, make videos about it. People will respect you for it, and you're doing something really good for somebody. So make sure you put the word out there. It's worth $1 million. It really is. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Andrew, please, one more time, if you have that link ready. You have that link ready one more time, because I think this is important. The guy's got a giveaway going on. Gary's got a giveaway going on. He's going to put a link on here. Guys, run over there real quick. Just hit the subscribe and the next time, and the little notification bell. And then when it pops up, you'll know a little bit more about that giveaway and what you can win and what's doing.
It's up. I put it in there again.
All right. Anything you want to say before we go, Andrew?
Just everybody take care, and please tune in for the next one.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I love each and every one of you. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, let you know if I upload a video. And as always, I love you all. See me bye.